All right, y'all about to go live in a sec. All right, y'all. This is streaming live on my YouTube and is streaming live on the Black Atheist YouTube. How does the sun come up every day? How does rain fall from the sky? Explain high and low tides. That's not a serious question, right? Like I know you're not being serious with that because science explains all that. So I know you're not being serious. Okay. And we are streaming everywhere. Let me go ahead and bring Bernie up. Ethan, I see you in the box as well.
Hi,
Hey Bernie, how's it going?
I'm okay. How are you?
All right.
Um, yeah, I can see the prompts again now.
Mm-hmm.
I, like you said, to come up if you disagree.
Mm-hmm.
I strongly disagree. I do believe God is real. I know it's sometimes hard to believe something that we can't physically see,
Mm-hmm.
but um, I my question would be, if God isn't real, how did we get here?
When you say how do we get here, you mean like how do I
Man,
exist?
man, yeah,
Um, our
mankind.
our our parents had sex.
I mean, the origin of it, the origin of it.
The origin of life has multiple explanations, and there's a lot of people who are working on it right now. That's still really a mystery. If you can talk about the origin of life, there's things like abiogenesis, panspermia. There's actually good experiment for abiogenesis as well, where they actually put like a inorganic material into a lab simulation, and within a few hours you actually do get organic material from that. Now, is it RNA, is it DNA, et cetera, et cetera? No, of course not. It's not anything that's complex, but we do know it's possible for that to happen. But as far as why is there existence instead of absolutely no existence, I don't know that. No, I don't think anyone does.
But see, that's the thing. You're, I don't know what anything about what you just talked about. I'm not familiar with much when it comes down to atheism, because I do believe in the Bible.
Mhm.
I don't necessarily believe in religion, but I do believe in the Bible. I do believe God exists. I am not aware of anything that you just said, but
Mhm.
what I did take away from it is that there is still there is something, like there's work being done to try to prove how we got here. And what I'm saying to you is the 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 answer for how we got here is already here. It's in the Bible.
How do we prove that the Bible is true?
um, I have no reason to believe that it isn't, right? So what I mean by that is,
Mhm.
when I read the Bible and I look around, I um I feel like it gives me the answers. There are some things in the Bible that are obviously parables, right? And then there are some things that are there that's meant to explain how we got here. And I know you said that you didn't want anyone to preach or
Mhm.
monologue, but I do have my own personal experience with God.
Okay, great. Um, now you said you more on you don't really believe in religion, but the first thing I would say is that once do you say like Lord and Jesus Christ as your Lord and personal Savior?
Yes,
Yeah, that's religion. So what one thing I would
that's not religion. That's Christianity.
which is a religion.
Not necessarily,
Well,
but okay.
how do you define religion?
Religion is what religion is today is a group of people getting together and forming an organization. The reason why I don't believe in organized religion is because it has become commercial.
Okay.
It was not meant to be commercial, but man has made it commercial, meaning they used it to control people as well as to enrich themselves.
Okay, so religion is more than just an organization. Religion is literally defined as a relationship with a deity. That's literally definite. I'm breaking it down, but that's literally the definition of what a religion is, and you have that. I don't think like religion is a bad word. Yeah, like the way that it is today, there's lots of criticisms of it, but I don't think it's should be like such a bad word that people need to get away from. But the second thing I would say is that when you look at the Bible, there's plenty of reasons to not believe it. Not only because of the ridiculous stuff like talking snakes and talking donkeys, but its origins literally say that we came from two human people that ancestrally created the rest of us. That's we know scientifically that's not possible. That's not true.
You
So
said,
like
you
once
said
we
two human people that incestually created the rest of us.
Yes, because in Genesis you have Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve had two sons, Cain and Abel. Then a Cain unalived Abel. There was only Cain left, and then Cain somehow got a wife. So what did the wife come from? If there was only three people on earth,
I think um, the it can be a little bit confusing to someone if they don't believe in the Bible, right? To say that Cain and Abel or Adam and Eve's only two children. They weren't Adam and Eve's only two children. When God created Adam and Eve, he told them to be fruitful and multiply the earth. So it's impossible that they would have just two children.
right? So
Just because
Cain
the
had.
Bible only speaks about two children,
Mhm.
just because the Bible only speaks about them having two children, we have to look at the origin of it and understand that it was not just two children.
It
If
was
the
more.
Bible was to speak about every single child they have, then the Bible would be filled with just talking about all of their children.
Right. Okay. So if they had if Adam and Eve had more children than just Cain and Abel, I'm agreeing with you there. They had to have more than them because Cain's wife had to come from somewhere, which means Cain had slept with his wife.
With his
That's
sister,
it.
you
That's
went.
incest.
With his sister, you went.
I'm sorry.
You went to say his sister.
It doesn't.
That he went off with his sister.
It doesn't explicitly say his sister, but it also doesn't
Mm,
explicitly say that that God created more people.
right.
Did Adam and Eve were the only ones on earth according to what the Bible says, if we're taking a strict interpretation of it. But like if just like what you're saying, Adam and Eve had to have more children, right? If they had to have more children, and then you had Cain unalive Abel, so it's Adam and Eve and Cain left, then the other children that Adam and Eve had, if they were girls, they had to be Cain's sister. There's no way around it.
No, I'm not disputing that. I'm not disputing that.
Right.
At that
So
point, they were at that point. The only people on earth would have been Adam and Eve's children.
right. So the what I'm trying to show to you is that once you have incestuous children, once you have kids from incest, like you're not gonna have kids anymore after that. Like it's either going to be you're either going to have like kids who are severely genetically deformed or not fertile at all, meaning they can't have kids themselves. So we can't just have to come from two people.
That's not necessarily true. Incest is not accepted today, but there are cases where it happens, and they're able to have children, and the children are perfectly healthy.
No, they're not. That never happens. Incest children are never healthy. That never happens, especially if it's brother sister. If it's
What are
if,
you
if it's
basing
cousin
that?
if it's cousin, then there's there. Is if it's cousin, then is there. But like brother sister, those children are never healthy. At
What are you
least amongst
basing?
humans. If it's like the other animals, they have different gene patterns than we do. But when it comes to humans, they're never healthy.
What are you basing that on?
Science, history, what we have in medicine,
Evidence of
evidence.
evidence of um, who, where,
we
and
we
when.
actually we actually have like people alive today
Right.
who parents were related, like brother sister blood related, and they're not healthy at all. Look up
Some
the
are
people of
healthy because
which ones.
I think it's in the Pakistani community in London where it's common. It's a thing where they marry their first cousins because they believe that
Mhm.
by doing so the spouse would treat them better. And yes, you are correct. There's a good portion of the kids that have gene deficient gene issues,
Mhm.
but some of them are healthy. There's a story I saw. I didn't know about this in the Pakistani community in the UK. I saw a story of it on, I think it was the BBC, a documentary, and there was a couple. They had, I believe, 6 children, and out of the 6 children, 3 were healthy, and 3 had severe disabilities. So I'm not going to deny that that is problematic, but I'm saying it is not always the case. It is not 100% certainty that the child will that if they produce a child, that the child will not be healthy. And I need you to remember one thing. When I come from the Bible, right? We are 600 years since Adam and sorry 6,000 years since Adam and Eve, and so we're further away from perfection. Adam and Eve, when they were created, they were perfect. When they had their kids, they were not that far removed from perfection. So it is
Okay.
my belief.
Here's a few things. Here's a few things. Now, number one, I said brother sister related. Cousin is some sort of 50-50 in
Mhm,
what you just proved, where they had 6 kids, but 3 of them had genetic defects, and the other 3
mhm,
were perfectly healthy. So cousin is okay. The other cousin is sometimes is okay, but brother sister is never okay. There's never a case where a brother and a sister had a child and that child was perfectly healthy. That never happens.
okay.
But the second thing I would say is that you're having a lot of assumptions here with Adam and Eve. We don't know these people actually existed. So how do we actually show that Adam and Eve were actually real? You have to actually show that first before we saying that they were just perfect.
The
And not
first
only that,
thing,
that's not the way. That's not even the way DNA works. So
the,
DNA doesn't is not. There's no perfect DNA. That doesn't happen. So how do we even show that they even existed? And how do we know that they were perfect? And yeah, that's actually the question. How do we know that they were perfect, and how do we know they were even real? Because all evidence shows that they were not real.
the first thing, right, where you and I will never agree is my starting point. My starting point is something that you dismiss. My starting point is the Bible, is my belief in the Bible. And unless you believe in the Bible, you will never acknowledge Adam and Eve were perfect because you don't believe the Bible.
But don't you see the problem there? Can't you say the same thing for every other religion?
Um, I don't discount I don't discount Islam's holy book. I don't discount Judaism's holy book.
Yeah, because they're
I
the same. They're the same as yours.
Right. So
They
when
say
you
the same
say
thing.
other so when you
But
say other religion, those are the three main faiths.
those are the big three Abrahamic faiths. But there are other religions outside of Abrahamic. There's Jainism, there's Shintoism, there's Taoism, there's Hinduism. They all have different creation stories. How come theirs are fake and this one's right?
I guess it just comes down to what you believe, right?
Right. I
It
understand it
just
comes down
comes
to what you
down
believe,
to
but you see what I said here? Faith isn't a reliable pathway to the truth because you can believe something completely 100% on faith and be wrong about it, right?
faith is for those of us that have faith, it
Hmm.
is something that someone who refuses to even consider it will never be able to fully understand or accept because their starting point is one of because I can't see it, I can't believe it. And um, when I think about faith and believing and having faith, I can't see the air that I breathe, but I breathe. So I can have faith in something that I can't see based off of first my understanding of the Bible and secondly my own personal experiences.
Okay, I mean, here's what I would say. That's all good and well. That's fine, but like, what makes it actually true, right? Because it's you can like I said before, you can have faith in something and be wrong about it. So how do we know that you're right and not another one that's right?
Can I ask you why it is that you don't believe God is real?
No evidence, and I have no utility for it.
No evidence. Okay,
No,
what do you mean by no utility?
there's no reason for me to have it.
Okay, that's where talking to someone that believes in it, that believes God is real, and someone that doesn't believe He's real. That's where the intersection, like you kind of reach a fork in the road, and you'll never be able to agree, because one person believes it no matter what, and the other person's, you in this case, you believe in what you can see. If you can't see it, you don't believe it.
I mean, not necessarily. I can't see Jupiter, but I know I know it exists because there's evidence of it.
You can't see the air because
Yeah,
you
and
breathe.
right, but we know it exists because we can actually detect oxygen molecules.
Where do you think it came from?
Where does the air come from?
Mhm.
Air comes from chemical reactions.
Yeah, it's difficult to speak to someone.
I mean, if it
Air
comes from
doesn't come
somewhere
from
else, sure.
chemical reaction.
Yes, we
Um,
actually can actually look into a lab and have chemical reactions, and we can see oxygen. If you think it comes from something else, like let me know where it is and how did you prove that?
why isn't it able to be replicated in Jupiter, for example?
There is oxygen on Jupiter
Why can't mine live there?
because it's too big and it has Jupiter has way more radiation. It has it's way too big for us to survive on it. The winds on Jupiter go like 600 miles per hour and we can't survive in that. We evolved on this planet. Yeah, I wouldn't expect
So
us
the
for us
atmosphere, so the atmosphere on Jupiter is not conducive for man to
for
live.
man to live. Exactly.
Exactly right. So, what do you think? Why do you think the atmosphere on Earth is conducive for man to live? Man didn't make that. We,
Yeah,
we didn't do that.
yeah, man. Yeah, we didn't do that. Of course we didn't. So
So we did. If we didn't do it, who did it?
there is no who.
So it just poof magically appeared.
No, that's what you believe.
No,
Yes, it
that's what
is.
you believe.
Doesn't the
I
Bible
believe it
says
was created. I believe
doesn't Genesis 1:1 say in the beginning God created heaven and earth?
right. So I believe
Okay,
it
so
was
you
created.
believe it was poofed. I don't
No,
believe it
no,
was
no,
poofed.
no, 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 no. You just said it. In the beginning,
God
God
created the heaven and
created
earth. Out of
heaven
what?
and earth.
Out of what?
God
All
created
right,
it.
hold on. Listen to my question. Out of what?
He's Almighty. He created it
Out of what?
from His own ability as God to create it.
So he poofed
He
it.
created something.
So he created out of nowhere then.
He
He just poofed it
create.
into, so he just
No, he
poofed it
didn't.
into existence.
He did not create it out of nowhere.
Okay,
His
so he had
his
prior material that he made it out of.
his the what he has, the abilities he has the ability to create, and you need to focus on that word. It did
Right.
not
Right.
say
Okay. Okay.
out
I,
of
I
no.
understand. I understand. I understand. I understand. What I'm trying to ask you is, you see, I asked you, what did God create the earth out of? You said he just has the ability to create. So there was no prior material for God creating anything. He just did it on his own, which means he created something out of nothing. I don't believe that. So it's something that you believe. You believe that he poofed it into existence. I don't believe that he poofed it into existence. I believe what the evidence shows is that billions of years after the Big Bang, after stars exploded, there was an accretion disk of gas and dust that all amalgamated in together in order to make the Earth. That's where the evidence shows, and we can actually see accretion disks in other parts of the galaxy. So we can actually prove that that's what happened. When it comes to
And
your God's
then
poofing things into existence, we can't prove that at all. That's just something that you're saying happened.
no, I never said God. You quoted the Bible. You quoted the Bible correctly, and
Mhm.
then you are, after quoting it correctly, you're deliberately using the word poof. And that's not what the Bible said. The Bible says God created. Now
Out of what?
God is all knowing. He has the powers that you and I will never have. In fact, his powers surpasses that of his son. So we will never have the powers that he have. He has the ability to create everything and anything. He is the Alpha and the Omega, the
Great, great. Okay,
beginning
I don't
and
want
the end.
I don't need a sermon. What I'm
I'm not
asking
giving
is
you a sermon.
right. I know, but
I
that's what
can't.
we're getting into. What I'm asking
Okay.
is, what
It's
exactly did he make it out of?
let me say this to you. It
Right,
is.
hold on. I just need you to answer that question. When it comes to the
I'm going to
earth,
answer your question,
what did
right?
he make it out of?
It is not fair to have a conversation and say I can't speak about um I can't speak to you on the terms of my starting point, the Bible. So that when someone says, when I quote the Bible, I'm not giving you a sermon. My belief, your starting point is not the Bible. My starting point is the Bible. The only way I can speak to someone that is an atheist and talk about why I believe in God, I have to reference my starting point, which is the Bible. So the parameters in which you have which you have set for this conversation is not realistic. It cannot happen because you are handicapping the other person and saying you can't reference your starting point. You can't use your
I didn't say
starting
that you
point.
can't. I didn't say that you can't reference the Bible. I said that I don't need a sermon saying all these things about God being the Alpha, the Omega, and
It's not
da.
a
I've
sermon.
well, hold on. What I'm saying is that I've heard all that before, and this doesn't really answer the question. I understand that you believe that God is the Alpha and Omega. We've heard all this already. I've been in church for 20 something years, so I know all that already. What I'm asking about is questions that you will never hear in church, which is specifically the question I asked you before. If God made everything, what exactly did he make it out of? If he didn't make it out of any prior material, then that means he made it out of nothing. He just willed it into existence, which is magic. He just poofed it into existence. You're saying that he
You
didn't.
said that he
Hold on,
didn't make it out
hold
of
on,
any
Listen,
prior material.
let me finish. You said that he didn't make. You said that he just created it, and I'm asking you, did he create it out of something that was already prior existing? Did he make it out of something? Because something can't come from nothing. So if he just willed it into existence, you're literally saying that he made things out of nothing.
Never said he willed it into existence.
Okay, so what did he create the earth out of?
Whatever means he had to create it, because the Bible did not say he said he decreed it. The Bible said the Bible doesn't say poof. The Bible doesn't say the earth magically appeared. The Bible specifically used the word created.
Create.
And what
Okay.
that says to me,
Mm-hmm.
as you are aware of, in order for you to create something, you have to have the materials to create it. And that means to me that God has the materials that
Mm-hmm.
he used. I don't know what they are because I am not God. You don't know what they are because you're not God. He is God. He created it with the materials that he had to create the earth. And you cannot continue to quote Genesis and say it says in the beginning God created the earth, and then turn around and say believing that he created the earth means that someone is saying poof, the earth he magically appeared the earth. You're being disingenuous when you do
I'm
that.
I'm not being disingenuous because it literally doesn't say that he made it out of anything. He just said he willed it into existence. He just
No,
said
it
God
doesn't.
created.
You quote,
He just
if you
said
just
no.
listen to what I'm saying again,
He said God created the heavens and the earth.
this
It
is what
doesn't
I'm
say
saying
how. He
again.
just said that he did something. All
This
right.
is what
So
I'm saying
what you're
again.
saying? Hold on. Wait. You're saying that in the beginning in Genesis it says God created the heaven and the earth. I understand that you're saying it doesn't say what he made it out of, but I'm not being disingenuous if I said that it's willing it into existence because it doesn't say how he made anything.
It
It just says
doesn't
that he made something.
say you the reason why I'm saying you're being disingenuous is because of your knowledge of the Bible, you are correctly quoting Genesis that
Mm-hmm.
says he created it, and yet you refuse to acknowledge that it's possible for him to create it with material, with means that he had. Just because you don't know what those means are, you quote Genesis, and then you turn around and say that it means that it magically appeared. No, that's like me saying you have something that I am not aware of, and
Mm-hmm.
you use what you have to create something, and because I don't have that, I'm not aware of what you have, I'm going to discount that you created it because I don't have the means, and I don't know what the means are that you have for you to create something.
I didn't say that he didn't create anything. What I'm doing is I'm critiquing what this actually says, and I'm critiquing the theology because you're actually the first person who I ever ran into that says that God didn't will things into existence. He just had prior material for it. If you're saying that he had prior material for it, then where did the prior material come from then?
I don't know that
Right.
if
Okay, so this is the
hold on.
problem that I'm
You didn't
running
let me
into.
finish. You didn't even let me finish.
Go ahead.
I was responding to where you said that I'm the first person that you've ever spoken to that didn't say that God willed the earth into existence.
Mhm.
I can't. If I believe in the Bible, I cannot say that He willed the earth into existence because the Bible doesn't say that. The Bible says that He created the heavens and the earth.
Right. So he willed it into existence. What's the difference?
That is so
All right.
like.
Hold. Wait.
Let
Hold
me
on,
ask
Brandon.
you
Hold
something.
on.
When you
Wait. Hold on.
create
Let me ask
something,
you. Let me
no,
ask
no,
you a
no.
question.
Let
Let me
me
ask you a
ask you.
question.
Let me
Hold
ask
on.
you this.
Wait.
When
Let
you
me ask
create
you. Let me ask you a
something,
quick question. Let me ask you a quick question. Let me ask you a quick question. Let me ask you a quick question. Because you said that the Bible doesn't say that he willed it into existence, right? It says that he created it, right?
I'm listening.
All right. So you understand that. So you're saying that it was possibly created from prior material, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Where did that material come from?
God,
So he willed things into existence.
because someone, you didn't let me finish. Because someone has something. When you create something, do you will it into existence?
No, I make it from prior material that just
Okay.
before me.
Okay. So why is it? Why? So why are you insisting that God is not possible? That God did not have prior material that He used to
Mhm.
create the heavens and the earth.
That would mean that God's not all powerful. Then
That would mean that He's not all powerful.
he's not. There's material outside of him that he cannot make.
You are completely twisting the Bible.
No, I'm not. That's what you just said.
No,
You
no, no,
said
no,
that
no.
you asked me. You asked
You are
me how.
completely
You
twisting the
asked me.
Bible.
You asked me. How do I know that God didn't have prior material that He made stuff out of? I could agree with you that I don't know if God had previous material that He made stuff out of. But if that's the case, that means that God cannot be all powerful because there are things that exist before Him.
He's the beginning and He's the end.
Okay, so all the material comes from Him.
Where would it come from?
Okay, then this is my point that I was trying to get to before. He willed things into existence. Because where did the material come from that he made it from? It came
Your
from him,
mind
right?
is set.
Hold on,
Your
wait,
mind
wait.
is
Bernie,
set.
Bernie, follow me real quick. Bernie, follow me real quick. Follow me real quick. You just said that he's the beginning and the end. And when I asked
Mhm.
you, so where did the material comes from? You said where else could it come from other than him? That means he wills things into existence, which is what I said 10 minutes ago. You're not admitting that I was right. God
I'm
simply
not
willed things
admitting.
into existence.
No. What I'm saying to
So
you
where did the
is
material come from?
what I'm saying to you is you are purposefully quoting the Bible, and then because it doesn't fit with your narrative, you're purposefully using words that fits your narrative. You're refusing to acknowledge that God created the
From
heavens
what?
and the
Where did the
earth.
material come
Okay?
from?
It is not for me to
Bernie, where did the material
understand.
come from? Where
Let
did the
me
material come
finish.
from?
It is not for me to understand. It is not for me to explain where God got the materials from. If I believe in the Bible, then what I believe in is what the Bible says. And as long as you don't believe in the Bible, you won't ever be able to have a genuine, as long as you are not willing to even entertain the notion that the Bible is real, that it is from God, that it does explain how we got here, you
But
won't be able to have a genuine conversation with
here's the problem,
anyone
Bernie.
because
Here's the problem, Bernie. Here's the problem,
because you
Bernie.
hold on
Hold on, wait, hold on.
because you have
Wait,
already made up your
Bonnie. I don't,
mind.
Please don't
It,
please don't monologue.
it's a
Hold
conversation
on,
that's going to go in a
hold on.
circle.
Wait. I know it's a conversation.
It's going to go
But
in a
what,
circle though.
Bernie? Listen to what I'm saying. I'm not gonna let you do that. Don't say that I'm not trying to have a genuine conversation because I'm critiquing the Bible. I don't need to believe something to have a conversation about it. We can have a conversation about Dragon Ball Z. I don't believe Frieza exists. Like, come on, like, yeah, I need to
If
stop
you
doing that.
just
Hold
take
on, Bernie.
everything,
Hold on, Bernie. Y'all need to stop doing that. This is something Christians always do. If we don't accept what you're saying, you think that we're not being genuine. I am being genuine because me becoming atheist took 10 to 15 years. It wasn't a short time. All right. I didn't just not believe this out of nowhere. My dad is still a pastor. So I didn't just stop believing this out of nowhere. Like I do have genuine conversations. If I'm asking you hard questions and you're saying that you can't answer it, that's fine. But don't pretend I'm not being genuine.
No. I never said I couldn't answer it.
Where did materials come from that
issue,
God created Earth out of?
The issue is my answer. I rely on the Bible for, and you
Cool.
don't believe
Does the Bible say the material where the materials came from?
You don't believe the Bible is real.
Does the Bible say, Bernie? Does the Bible say, Bernie? Last question. Does the Bible say where the materials came from that God created Earth? Hold on, Bernie. Answer me this question. Answer. Of course, I don't believe in a divine being, and I don't know why you would. Answer. But my question is, Bernie. My question is, Bernie. We are having a genuine conversation.
No, it's going in a circle. It's going in a circle with. Here's what's happening.
Okay, but Bernie. It's literally just a simple question. Hold on, Bernie. Hold on.
You have two people who firmly have their firm beliefs, right? Who will not budge.
No, I can budge. I can budge. No, Bernie, you're wrong. Bernie, you're wrong. Stop, Bernie. Bernie, stop. You're wrong. I can budge if you give me evidence, which I've always said. I can budge, but you have to give me evidence because I budged on believing in God before, right? So I can budge if you give me evidence. All I asked you was, hold on, all I asked you was where the prior material that God made the earth out of, where did it come from? You told me 10 minutes ago that you don't know, and then you told me that it came from God. That means he poofed it into existence, right?
Can I say something before I drop? Before I drop, I'm going to pray that someone has foundation in the church, and like I said, the church is problematic for me. But I'm gonna pray for someone who once believed that there is a almighty being and who sent his son to die for your salvation. I'm going to pray that God touches your heart, that you understand that you did not magically appear. You did not magically appear. That your existence, your very existence, is because of an almighty being. Have a good day.
That would be magic. I'm here because of evolution, which is not magic. All right, guys. Cheesy, I did see you there, but I know you're friendly. I just want to get some more debates up. But I'll if you want to stay in the guest box, go ahead and stay there. I'll probably bring you up on the next person. But yeah, listen, all the Christians out there, we all trying to have genuine discussion out there. Don't tell us that we're not trying to have genuine discussion, because many of us were actually Christian before. So we actually are trying to have genuine discussions around this. All right. Cheesy, I do see you in the box, but again, I was looking for the debate. I'm gonna bring Blakey up next, and Cheesy, stay here because I may bring you up and during the next one. All right, Blakey, how's it going?
Good.
All right. Any type of, how old are you?
18.
Okay. Any type of religious affiliation? Hello. Yeah, Blakey, you there? Don't just disappear on me now. Hello. Too bad Blakey's not there anymore. We have Cheesy Ghost Peppers and Dreadhead. Dreadhead, I already spoke to you before, so I'm not sure what you want to talk about now. All right, Inisu. I think that's how you say your name.
What up, man?
Inisu, how's it going?
What up?
Any type of religious affiliation?
Yeah, I follow Jesus Christ.
Cool. All right, so what you got for me? We got 25 minutes on the clock.
All right, bet. So basically, I can say that it's evidence that we live in a world, and this world has to have some type of wise designer to put it together, because a dumb designer cannot make me as a human think the way I think, and it has to have order over everything. And it's evidence that it cannot be over two perfect beings. It has to be one perfect being to make everything even flow right. If it's two perfect beings, one will disagree with another, and then one will not. It's like they'll fight, and it'll just be destruction and destruction. It can't be more than one God. It has to be somebody, and it has to be somebody painting this picture, and it also has to be a wise person painting the picture. And in Proverbs 3:19, God says, I don't remember what he said, but he describes how he laid the foundations with wisdom and understanding. Yeah, he describes that in Proverbs 3:19.
All right, cool. All right, cool. Yeah, I do disagree, because this earth is not really designed well, and you can't even prove anything that you're saying. So why would
I can't prove nothing? But it's with the evidence. It's evidence that we even live on the earth, and it's evidence that this earth has to come from something. You can't say life came from non-life.
I understand. Hold on. And I understand that there's evidence that we live on earth, and this earth had to come from something. I do agree with you there. That doesn't mean that there had to be a deity that made it. And this earth could be a natural process.
Well, how do you explain a tree the way the trees move? How do the trees move? How are trees alive? How are trees even? What kind of energy is that?
Trees are alive because of photosynthesis.
Photosynthesis. What about the way I think? I don't have a lot of biochemicals just thrown in my brain. These things have positions, or they're not. If they were just thrown in my brain, I would be thinking like dumbly.
No, you wouldn't.
Literally. Yes, I would. I wouldn't know how to control nothing.
No, yes, you would. Our entire body is literally just chemicals put together.
But it has to have a wise designer to.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Why?
It has to.
Why?
It has to. It has to be. It has to be light and darkness also.
Yes, there has to be light and darkness. I understand, but why does it have to have a designer? Why?
Because it has to, bro. Like you're asking.
No,
me,
it doesn't.
It has to.
No, it really doesn't.
Why doesn't it have to? Why doesn't it have to?
Because it simply doesn't. Nature doesn't need a designer. Nature does what it does.
That's an opinion.
No, it's not. Nature literally does what it.
A picture doesn't need a painter.
But we're not pictures.
No. A picture doesn't need a painter.
Of course it does, but we're not pictures.
No. But we're living a picture.
No, we're not.
That's the evidence. What is this earth? A picture it's painted, right?
No, it's not painted.
When you did your science project back in probably 4th grade, you probably did it on a table, and they told you to build an earth. And with your wise and understanding, I'm sure you put the stop sign right here, and I'm sure you put a human walking going on this street.
Okay, and hold on, and because you're losing me here. That's not what we did in science class. What are you talking about?
Well, not whatever class that was, but you know what I'm talking about, bro.
Right. Okay. If we were in art class and they told us to paint something, yeah, of course I would paint, my street or something like that. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But when we're talking about this earth and everything like that, yes, this earth is pretty and nature is beautiful, and I agree with you all there. But for you to say that something had to design it and nature just can't be, nature does what it does. That's what we see all the time. Because if you look at quantum mechanics, nothing makes quantum mechanics happen. Quantum mechanics is what it is. We don't know why quantum mechanics does what it does, but it just does it. For some apparent reason. We don't know why. But that's the floor we can get to, because if you scale up quantum mechanics, you get to physics. And if you scale up physics, you get to chemistry. And if you scale up chemistry, you get to biology and all the other sciences, etc. You see what I'm saying? But the thing is, if you're gonna exactly what I said, like physics and quantum mechanics, we don't know why they do what they do.
We don't know why. So
we don't know why they do what they do. They just do what they do.
But we have a book that's telling us how everything came about. In the beginning, there's time. Then you have God created the heavens, that's space. Then God laid the foundation of the earth. That's matter.
Can you prove? Can you prove that God actually exists?
I can't prove nothing, but I have a lot of evidence. I have evidence.
Which evidence? Well, which experiment did you come? Which experiment did you do you have, or did you? I'll look it up right now. Can you tell me the experiment to look up that showed that God is the one that made the heavens and the earth? Go
That's
ahead.
the thing is, I would be fooled to believe in God just because a book tells me to. So for me, I was looking at the book and I did what God told me to do, like the commandments, chose to follow the commandments, chose to do this, chose to do, and the more I prayed, I was like, if Noah's seeing God like this, okay, why if God doesn't show favoritism? Why can't I have that same encounter? So I tell you from I know you probably ain't hearing the experience, because then you're gonna say the other people, quote unquote, God's real. But
Yeah, exactly.
at the same time, it's like like I said, we talked about it's light and dark energy. Though light and dark energy just doesn't move by itself. It has to have an operator. I just can't move my physical body
Okay,
without
give
without
me
the
give me a
soul.
second. I'm sorry because we're kind of getting into I don't want us to jump to one thing towards another. All
I
right.
got
So
you.
first
I
thing
got
you said was what was about your experience with God. Yes, I'm going to bring up other people's experiences with God. Why is yours right and theirs are wrong?
you. Why are That's a good question. That's a good question. And if I want to think about that, it's because like I can honestly say when I was actually doing their practices back then. I did the meditation they was talking about.
Which one?
I actually like it was like this Kundalini. They were saying meditate. It's called Kundalini awakening. A lot of people think when they do Kundalini awakening, it's like they misinterpret a lot about it. And I was doing that to get an out of body experience. But until I called on Jesus Christ, the first time I called on him, I got an out of body experience, and I praised him in the out of body experience and felt his presence. So it's like
Okay, I understand your experience. What I'm asking is this: the people who actually believe in those things, they also got that experience the first time they prayed. So are theirs right as well?
What people are we referring to? Can you tell me one of their experiences and tell me?
Okay, let's talk about voodoo. My grandmother was a Haitian voodoo practitioner.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she was able to talk to Urzuli and Oshun. As a matter of
Mm.
fact, when my uncle passed away, she said that she went to go see a mumbo in Haiti when my uncle passed away, and she was able to talk to my uncle one last time. He was through a veil, and she was able to hear his voice and everything like that. And he said that he's with the ancestors.
Now, if I can honestly tell you, and you probably won't like this truth, but spirit like light and dark spirits are shape shifters. I mean, like it's true that we cannot talk to the dead because the dead knows nothing, and it's also true that dark spirits can shapeshift. So it's like if I was a dark spirit, I would do the same thing to get somebody to think. I bet it. Did she say Jesus? Why? It's like it's more evidence of God being real. I don't mean to shift off the subject, but it's like you see people blaspheming Jesus. Why not the other religions? Like, why Jesus? Like, why Jesus? Like, you got to actually think. Why Jesus? Why
Because we
aren't
live
they? Oh, what? Because what?
because we live in the majority Christian West. That's why.
No, because
Yes, that is why.
well, okay. So why does the Bible describe Lucifer being an angel of music? Now in the world, the music industry is going against God, putting Jesus on the cross. What
No, they're
like
not.
that? So they're not putting. So if Lil Baby, Young Boy, and all these other celebrities didn't put themselves on the cross
Yeah, because they grew up Christian.
because they grew up Christian.
Yeah, like Jesus, Christian imagery
Like,
has always hold on. Christian imagery has always been in music, bro. It's always been. That's always been a thing because we live in the majority Christian West. The people who have the most power, the religion that has the most power in not only our society, but even in West African societies are the churches, the Christians. They have the most power. Name a president that wasn't a professing Christian.
name a president that wasn't a professing Christian.
Right.
Um, what you mean by professing?
Meaning that they said that they were Christian and they went to church and you saw them with the Bible all the time, et cetera, et cetera. Professing Christians.
I know a lot of Christians that go to church, but I truly believe that you don't have to go to church to be a Christian. I believe the temple is the Bible.
Right. I understand, but like follow my point here. The point that I'm trying to make is that there has never been like the president is the most powerful seat on the planet because America is the most powerful seat on the planet. There has never been not one president that said I'm not Christian. Not one. Every single one of them has said that they are. Now, Trump did it because it would be an advantage to him, of course. But every single president on this planet has always said, I am a Christian. The majority of Congress, 80 to 90% of Congress are Christians. If you look at the demographics of America, 80 to 90% of Americans are Christians. So
Well,
when you say why do people rail against Christianity, is because it's the religion in this country that has the most power and causes the most effects, like over in Louisiana or over in Oklahoma, where they're trying to put the 10 Commandments into the schools. And they're making laws around LGBTQ people, making laws around abortion, making laws around other social issues. Why? Because of church, because of religion. That's why people rail against it.
do you believe in space?
Yeah, we have evidence of space.
Well. Now. I don't believe. I believe I'm a flat earther, and I don't believe in space.
Come on, bro. Like not in big 2024, you can't be a flat earther and not believe in space.
Now, I gotta tell you, why did one of the people who said they went to the moon, why did he put a Bible verse on his headstone that said something about God putting a firmament over the earth? Why would he do that?
No, he didn't.
Why would he do? If I knew the dude's name, yes, he did.
None of them did.
Yes, he did. If
Which
I knew
one?
the dude's name, I'm telling you, if I knew I should never say that when I know his name. But if I knew the dude's name, I can call out the dude. But
I know exactly who you're talking about. All right, that's a rumor about Buzz Aldrin. He never did that.
Bro, how do you know he never did that? You didn't go to his grave.
Because you can look it up and you can talk to his family. His family's still alive.
He did do it. I looked it up.
No, they didn't.
He did do it.
No, they didn't.
I'm telling you, they did, bro.
Okay, swipe away and Google it right now and come back and tell me which one.
So you said, no, you said, what's his name? What his name was?
Buzz Aldrin, right? That's the one who said that it was something like he what's that thing called again? He said that there's a firmament over the earth.
Yeah.
You sure about that?
Yes, sir. No. Actually, no. He put the Bible scripture, and the Bible scripture said God put a firmament over the earth. No. Let's get it. Hold on, let's get it right. He didn't say it. The Bible said it. So it's like, and it's known that a lot of scientists are even atheists themselves. Come on now, if I'm an atheist and I don't want you to believe, if I am the devil and I don't want you to believe God, of course I am going to of course I'm going to say it's a space, because if it's a space, then that means it's not a firmament. That means the Bible is a lie.
What evidence do you have for the firmament?
Bro, it's
what evidence do you have of the firmament? For real?
I can't care. I didn't physically see the firmament, but we know that.
No, we don't, because people have been to space.
What evidence do you have of a space besides what NASA shows you?
What does we have space besides what NASA shows me?
Bro, NASA, I don't believe
telescopes,
that NASA stuff, bro.
Telescopes.
And I believe that those are not even. I believe those are stars. I don't believe those are planets.
Have you ever been to a planetarium?
Besides what NASA shows you.
So you've been to a planetarium. You looked through a telescope. You actually saw the moon. You saw Jupiter. You saw all of that.
I didn't see Jupiter. I never seen Jupiter and Saturn and all that through
in a telescope. I have. Millions of people have. You can buy a telescope right now, and at the right moment at nighttime, you can look up into the sky and see other planets.
That's going to be a star. That's a star. How do you know exactly? You didn't go up there to know that that's
because we sent satellites up there.
No, what if that's actually a star? You don't.
We sent satellites to planet. We sent satellites there.
Something about satellites, and I don't. It's a lot of stuff that I don't.
How does GPS work?
Okay, you got a point right there. But still, bro, at the same time, I'm going to be concrete hard. I'm gonna get more evidence, bro, because you are right. How does GPS
work?
Yeah,
because GPS works on the assumption that the Earth is round, not that it's flat. So if the Earth was flat, we wouldn't have GPS.
Bro, NASA is the only. Bro, NASA is the only people that say we even had a flirt around Earth. All the people back then, they envision Earth as a compass and a circle. Even in the Bible, it says God looks at the face of the Earth. A face is the front, which is flat.
Bro, the Greeks and the Indus Valley civilization knew that the Earth was round thousands of years ago.
Bro, they put it as a compass. Look at the pictures of their old maps. Their pictures are of a compass. That is a compass. That's not a sphere.
All right, you ever heard of Eratosthenes?
No, I don't even know what that word means.
Eratosthenes was a person, was from Greece, right? He's a Greek astronomer. Basically, he was an astronomer and a mathematician. He's the one that calculated the circumference of the Earth because he saw that the shadows at the same time were different lengths if you go to different parts of the planet. If he went to Egypt and he saw that the shadow was one length, then he went back to Greece and he saw that the shadow at the same time was another length. When he calculated the lengths of that, that's when he figured out that this had to be a round thing. This had to be a round circle, this had to be a round planet, not a flat one. So Eratosthenes showed that the Earth was round. There was also the Indus Valley civilization. They knew the Earth was round. Columbus didn't think the Earth was flat. He knew that it was round because people knew for thousands of years that the Earth was round.
How do you explain a rainbow then? You have to have some type of, I say glass, not glass, yeah, glass or some type of, you know how you spray water and then a puddle will be right there, and then the it'll be a rainbow. How do you explain a rainbow in the sky with a round Earth?
You ever seen a rainbow in that? Have you ever flown and seen a rainbow in the sky?
What are you going to tell me?
Because when you get into a plane and actually look at a rainbow in the sky, guess what it is?
What is it? I got it. It's a circle, bro. It's a circle. All right, bro. Have you ever flew and seen an airplane in the sky?
Yes.
So you had to take a picture of it, right?
A picture of me in an airplane?
No, of the rainbow. I know you took a picture of it.
Oh, me no, I actually haven't seen it. There's videos of it though.
So you just told me you seen it though.
I didn't say I saw it. I said I'm asking you if you ever seen those videos. Or I'm sorry. I should have said this. Have you actually ever seen videos of rainbows in the sky? The rainbows are actually a circle.
Oh no, I never seen videos of rainbows in the sky.
Yeah, if you look at videos of rainbows in the sky, it will show you it's a circle.
But what I can say, wait, why don't you even believe in God? I have to ask, like, did you, like, one thing I don't want people to do, I do want you to at least get a lot of evidence why you don't believe in God, and literally if there is a God, go to God. Like, if you say there's not a God, I know there's a God, but if you believe there's not a God, still try to talk and see, because we're talking about a life, and if there is a God, imagine how you're really going to feel knowing that you perished for a lack of understanding.
If there's a God that actually exists and he's going to send me to hell just for not believing him because he didn't give me any evidence, then that God's a jerk. I'd rather be with the people who were good people on earth and just didn't believe because of lack of evidence. What made me not believe is not because of evidence, it's because of lack of evidence. Give me 1 second. Hey, James Cart, I do see you in the comments. Give me a few moments. Me and Inuasu, we're about 5 minutes away and then we're gonna be done. Just give me a few minutes. All right. So yeah, when it comes to the whole God belief, I stopped believing because of lack of evidence, not because there was evidence of something else. Matter of fact, there's evidence that what's said in the Bible is not true.
What's said in the Bible that's not true? I like to know. You probably gonna say something I haven't read, but I like to know so I can go read it later.
Noah's Ark.
How was Noah? Now I've heard videos. They have the exact measurement of what they say Noah Ark was. I see that. I seen the actual picture. I've been seeing that picture. So that's a little evidence that Noah Ark was real. But I don't want to just believe that picture. I want to see some more stuff. But I mean, I can't say the Noah Ark one, bro. Because I ain't gonna lie. I seen somebody say they put a picture up there and the people measured it. And that's the same way they said Noah Ark was.
Yeah,
the same way God told him to build it. It's the same way the scientists measured it.
Yes, and guess what? It wasn't any scientist or archaeologist that measured it. It was a guy named Ron Wyatt, and even Christians have said that Ron Wyatt is a liar. He didn't actually find Noah's Ark. That's just a rock formation. Now it's a very unique one. It looks very nice. It looks like a head of a boat, but it's a rock formation. No scientist has ever confirmed that this is Noah's boat. Look up Ron Wyatt. Ron Wyatt is an actual liar. He's not telling the truth at all.
How can we just go off of what somebody says about a person and then run with it? If they say that somebody is a liar, when in the evidence he measured it and it says that,
right. But the thing is, we never just when it comes to things like science and archaeology, you never just go off one person saying that they found it. Because for example, I can tell you right now that I found the Ark of the Covenant is in my attic. That doesn't mean I actually found it. I can bring out pictures of like, hey, here's the Ark of the Covenant. I found it and put it back in my attic. Now, if people actually come to my house and say, hey, can we carbon date this? Can we look? Can we take this to historians? Can we actually test it out to see where this is from? And I tell you, no, just believe me. Are you actually gonna believe me?
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna.
Exactly. That's what Ron Wyatt did.
I gotta keep it real, and I gotta understand the fact that you don't believe that. But at the same time, I can say that I have a lot of personal evidence for the relationship with God, because I know I have a lot of personal experience. So I know I can't say personal experience because, like you said, how do I know? A lot of other people's personal experience isn't right. But I'm telling you, bro, I really do not want you to perish for a lack of knowledge. Like, you don't want to perish for a lack of knowledge, bro. Like I know you may think you know what you know right now, but I would still love for you to ask the wise understander who created a lot of things, because a lot of things are twisted by people's own opinions, and I don't want you to fall into that, bro. And I know I can't. I'm not gonna force you to follow Jesus, because I can't force love. But at the same time, I can ask you to at least pray one time and ask God, if you real for real and you say you love me, show me evidence so I won't perish. You say you don't want me to perish. Show me how much you don't want me to perish. And I'm telling you, I'll follow your word. I'm telling you, ask him. He will, bro. Wait, do you believe in supernatural things?
No, I have no evidence for them.
Yeah, so it's like this conversation will just go in a circle. Like that girl said, it'll just go in a circle. Like, and like it's
the thing is, that's always my problem. Why do we actually have to pre-believe it before it's proven? How come we just can't show it?
Well, I can't prove that we're having this conversation, but the evidence is that you hear my voice.
Yeah, I hear your voice, but your voice could just be a natural phenomenon. That doesn't mean it's supernatural. The problem that I've always said, a problem that I personally always have with people is just saying that, this is going to go into a circle because you're not going to believe, you're not going to budge. I can believe something if you actually give me proof and evidence of it. You feel me? If I actually have to believe it first and then get the evidence, that just makes me incredulous. You see what I'm saying? So it's just like, why do we have to believe something before it's actually proven? Just prove it to me and then we'll believe it. You know what I'm saying? Like if God is really out there, he can just give everybody the road to Damascus experience. You know what happened to Paul on the road to Damascus, right?
Actually, I don't. What happened to Paul on the road to Damascus?
On the road to Damascus, the reason why Paul became a Christian, started believing in Jesus, is because that Jesus appeared to him in the sky and said, "Why are you persecuting my people?" And in the story of Acts, that's how Paul became Christian. God can literally just do that for everybody in their language at the same time. He just do that right now for everybody. If that were to happen, then there will be almost no one who would say that it's not true anymore. Like, sure, there'll be people who are out there who say, "Oh, it could have been aliens or a mass delusion," but this specific one, that would be like, that would be very, very unlikely. So, like, that would make everybody believe that like that would make most of the planet believe, right? It'll convince me. It will convince me, like, if God appeared to everybody in their own language at the same time, not just me, you know what I'm saying, but everyone. If I were to go outside and they actually said that, yeah, I saw Jesus as well, and 1 million people out there said, yeah, I saw it as well, and 2 billion people said, yeah, even in India and Japan, where they don't have a Christian religion over there, if they were to say, yeah, I saw it as well, then sure, at that point, I'd be like, okay, there's something to this. I'm probably going to believe it. But saying, oh, just believe this because this book said so, like, come on,
yeah,
bro.
I understand. But the thing is, he kind of walked the earth and kind of did what you just said, like in the flesh, but people didn't believe, just like right now. That's the craziest part. That's why the book got wrote. Do you think isn't it crazy how a whole bunch of people that didn't even know each other had the same thing to say about one man and one spirit? All these people really didn't even know each other. Like from this, they didn't. So how did they talk about the same exact spirit in the same exact way?
The disciples could have the disciples could have existed, because I have no problem with Jesus as a person actually existing. or like the character of Jesus being like 12 different people who got amalgamated into one, because that would happen to King Arthur too. You know what I mean? So like I don't have any problem with Jesus as a person existing out there. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not really a mythicist. The question is over his divinity, over his powers. Did he actually walk on water, heal the blind, feed 1,000 people, feed 5,000 people with a broth, with fish and with fish and bread? Did he actually do those things? Those are the questions that I have. Him as a person existing and people, worshiping him. That happens today. People worshipped what's that guy's name? The one that had the cult that went to Brazil. Oh my God, that was on the tip of my tongue too.
Wait,
The
so you
People's
saying
Temple.
you believe that Jesus existed?
Yeah, I have no problem with Jesus existing as a person. Sure, he probably exists as a person.
That's the thing. If Jesus existed and all these people, even
Jim
people,
Jones, that's his name.
even people that didn't even write books in the Bible, I seen this somewhere. Even it was somebody that didn't even write a book in the Bible, but he said somebody he was saying that he wrote something about how he encountered Jesus. How do, like, if Jesus really was truly who he say he is, then like a lot of people. This is the thing about the world. We look at the Bible and we say, I wouldn't want to follow Jesus because he is evil. But a lot of people just don't want to accept accountability. A lot of people are stubborn. A lot of people think they right when they're really wrong. And it's just because if I think I'm right, I'm not saying you wrong, and I'm not saying I'm wrong, because I could be wrong. But it's a lot of evidence that I had, and it's you say you have evidence. But what? But huh? Oh, I thought you were gonna say something.
No, it's all right. But yeah, what I would the things that I was gonna say. Jim Jones is who I was thinking about. So yeah, there are people who believe that there are folks who are miraculous, and they just turn out to be regular human beings. You know what I'm saying? So the same thing could have happened with Jesus. You feel me? So I have no problem with him actually existing. There's a divinity that I have an issue with. I'm not just gonna say that he was a divine creature just because the book says so. You feel what I'm saying? Like, there's no way to actually show that he was a divine creature. People, there are tons of books out there, not only from the Middle East, but from from Africa to Europe, to the United States, the Native Americans that were here. All of them had stories of people being divine. You know what I'm saying? So this one, have to accept this one is something that I can't get with, because it's like, why should I believe that one over all the others? There's no reason for me to. But we are out of time, bro. I do gotta go ahead and let you go. I gotta bring somebody else up. I appreciate you being here, though.
Oh, no problem, man. Good talk.
Appreciate you. All right, y'all. I do appreciate everybody who's in the comments. I do appreciate all the likes. Don't think I didn't see the gifts, y'all. I do appreciate all the gifts. I do have a gift goal up. If you would like to subscribe, please subscribe to me both here on TikTok. I do have a YouTube as well. The Black Atheist Coalition on YouTube. Volcy Thoughts on YouTube. I am live right there right now. And I appreciate you guys all being here. Let's get us, we're at 2.7K likes right now, 61 people in here. Let's go ahead and get us to 5K likes, y'all. Let's get us to 5K likes. I appreciate y'all. All right, Goku, you've been complaining about coming up for the past 20 to 30 minutes now. I hope you're still there, Goku. If you're not, I'll move on to the next person. Don't tell me that you was there complaining for 20, 30 minutes and then you left.
Hey, what's up, man?
You there, Goku?
Yeah, I'm a Christian.
Christian, cool.
Sure.
All right, cool. So what you got for me? We got 25 minutes on the clock.
Well, first and foremost, I'll try to debate as nice as possible, and I'll try to not put out Bible verses as much as possible, and go like toe to toe as much as possible. But before that, can you prove to me first why there's no God?
Prove to you why there's no God?
Mm-hmm.
It's not my claim.
I'm asking you. You're saying there's no God, right? That's your claim, yeah. So to prove to me.
No, it's not.
If that's a fact, then prove to me then.
Did you hear what I said?
What?
That's not my claim.
You said there's no good evidence for God, right?
There isn't. That's my claim.
So prove to me then.
Prove to you that there's no good evidence.
Mm-hmm.
Provide good evidence.
What I'm saying is prove. Tell me why, like, because I
can't prove a negative, bro.
That's the thing. So you can't prove a negative.
Right. So when I say there's no good evidence, that means that that any argument or evidence that's been brought forth has not been convincing. So it's not good evidence.
But you do believe there is something out there.
No.
So you do believe that there's no God?
No, I don't believe in a God. That doesn't mean I believe in no gods.
But you think that there's a certain energy or authority out there?
There's certain energy or authority out there. You mean the
Yeah,
government?
I'm not talking about like let's not call it God. I'm just saying, okay, let's not call it God. But you do believe that there's a certain like energy out there that provides certain natural selections.
Yeah, my brain. When I get hungry, I want to go eat. That's the energy.
No, I'm asking for you.
I know. I honestly don't know what you're talking about. So you like, because the thing is, you're I think you're using energy in this ethereal, otherworldly thing, and that's not what energy means in science. Hold on, y'all. I think he got a call. Give him a second. All right, y'all. We are at 4K likes right now. I do appreciate that. I asked out for 4K. I asked out for 5K only about 30 seconds ago, and y'all already got me to 4K. I really appreciate that, y'all. We got 65 people in here. Keep liking the live. Keep sharing it. Bring your friends in here. I do have the gift goal. If y'all see the gift goal, I have 50 roses. Go ahead and gift me up. Oh yeah, Cheesy's been there for a while. Cheesy, I'm gonna bring you up, Cheesy. I'm gonna bring you up. My bad, bro. I know that you wanted to come up. I'm gonna bring you up right now. I'm bring you up, Cheesy. Hey, Cheesy, how's it going?
Thanks, man. I don't know if you saw what I was saying earlier about. I know it's a low blow, but anytime you're debating like Christian women, go for the low blow, bro. Hit them with Timothy 2:12.
Timothy 2:12. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that in the comments.
It's a low blow, but it's an instant checkmate, immediate checkmate. Their own God tells them be silent because
my bad, bro. I got
you.
disconnected. My bad.
Nah, that's not a problem, Goku. Cheesy, you wanna stay up for a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. Sure, I'll mute. I'm actually eating ramen noodle soup.
Hey, not a problem. All right, let's talk to Goku. All right, Goku. So, yeah, Crystal, I do understand, but like it is kind of a checkmate to say that to them. But I do get why they want us to do that. I don't like to, but I understand. I get it. Okay, so Goku, what were we? The way that you're using energy is not the way that's used in science. You're basically using it as some sort of ethereal thing that has properties that can affect us or whatever. Like, how Kamehamehas are. That's not what energy. That's not how energy works in science. It's just a property of a system. So when you say an energy out there, I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure what you mean by that. Do you mean like a deliberate force that causes us to do things?
Yeah, like anything that you describe, man. Like I said, let's not call it a god. Let's not call it an empowerment. Let's not call it a god no more. Like, fine, let's not call it a god. Let's not call it a god.
Let's call it like a certain life force or a certain thing.
Let's not even call it like life force. It's probably a movement. You know what I'm saying? Like a movement or anything that just propagates and produce certain concepts and orders. You know what I'm saying? Like for us, we live in this world where like, there are certain orders. Like if for you to live, you got to breathe, right? Like there is certain like, okay, why am I breathing? Because that's the way just it is. You know what I'm saying? Why am I like need to drink water? Because I'm dehydrated. But why am I supposed to drink water if I'm dehydrated? That's just the way it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, why can I do other stuff? Why can I can't? Why?
So physics.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, oh, physics. We name it as physics, right? We name it like there are certain. So physics created that, or physics we name that? You know what I'm saying?
We ascribe the name to what we're the phenomena that we're seeing. That we just call it physics
phenomenon. So that's what I'm saying. Like there is a certain program. There's a certain order. So like let's not call it a god, but before we called it physics, there's a certain phenomenon, a certain natural
phenomenon that happens in the universe. Yeah,
that happens. But why? You know what I'm saying? Like,
but why does it happen? We don't know.
That's what I'm saying. So that's the claim, right? So we don't know, and I'm not saying atheism is irrelevant or invalid. It's totally cool. You know, like it's both for theism and atheism. But I guess it goes down to people what is compelling for us. So now let me go in your point of view. There's no good evidence of God. It just happens. It just happens. Everything happens, but we are in this certain situation where we debate about things. Why do we even debate about things if there's no value? Why are we arguing about things and trying to prove ourselves to people if there's no certain value out there?
There's value to it. There's value for us to have this discussion.
What is it?
The value for us to have this discussion is, number one, is entertaining. I mean, for me, I just like,
why do you
hold on,
like to
wait.
entertain
I can
people?
finish. Let me finish. Number one, I just like to talk about these things. I like to entertain people. Number two, the value in this is because of the way that of who I am, the way that I look. You see me, right? A black person, especially someone who's from the Caribbean. There's a stereotype about us that if we don't believe in God, something is mentally wrong with us, something is physically wrong with us, and that we're depressed and we're bad people. I want to normalize myself to people and let them know that we are not we're not bad people, we are not mentally disabled, we don't have any issues, we just don't believe in the God claims. That's number two. Number three, I do want to spread skepticism out there into the world because we are living in a very, very anti-science, very anti-intellectual world right now, and we need to it's gonna kill us basically. Sorry TikTok for that language, but it's going to unalive us. Okay. If we look into history, anytime that anti-intellectual movements happen, I can give you an example of the Soviet Union. People died. Okay, and that's going to happen now because we saw that happen during the pandemic. There was a huge anti-intellectualism and millions of people died. So there's consequences to this. So this is the reasons why I do this for, and there's value in it. All right. If it turns out that I'm wrong and that there is some sort of God out there, cool. At least we were able to spread skepticism, and we were able to actually get to an argument that I would actually prove it to be true. But right now, that hasn't happened. So that's why I do this.
On that note, Donald Trump wants to suppress the Weather Bureau because it goes against his climate change is a hoax narrative. That's going to keep people unalived.
It is.
Like if we don't have hurricane warning, we just had terrible hurricanes. And if you suppress the Weather Bureau, what's that going to do for people in hurricane states?
Yeah. And I live in one.
Why does it even matter if we're just like popped out of nothing?
Who said we popped out of nothing? No one said that. That's what you believe.
That's the evolutionary, like,
no, it's not.
It's like then explain to me then. Explain your premise then.
If life is finite, doesn't that make it even more precious?
What?
If life is finite as opposed to infinite, does that not make it even more precious?
How so?
Because you only get one.
You only get to experience
which certain
it
standard you
once.
said it's precious.
So,
according to my own
standard you just created?
My own.
Oh, so why do we even have to debate about it?
We don't. You don't have to be here. You don't want to come up.
Then why do you have to prove yourself to people?
I don't.
Then why are you like what I'm saying? You got like a certain like.
I told you why I do this for.
I do, yeah. But there is like you're putting yourself in a certain grade, like a certain value. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to like.
I do have value. I'm the greatest.
My guy, you came up here and the first words out of your mouth were "prove God isn't real." And that is a logical fallacy, right? If you're claiming God exists, the burden of proof is on you. First off. Second off, that is the teapot around the sun theory. And if you haven't heard about the teapot around the sun theory, I highly recommend you Google it.
Okay, fine. All right. So have you guys ever heard of Aquinas' claim about God?
What about it?
Have you heard about it?
What Thomas Aquinas said about God?
Thomas Aquinas.
Okay. I do know who Thomas Aquinas is, but remind me what he said. What was his argument again?
Well, I'm asking if you know about him.
I know about Thomas Aquinas. I just don't remember what his arguments was. I think his argument was the Kalam or a version of it, but I'm not certain. I'm be honest. I don't remember. I know Thomas Aquinas, but I don't remember what his argument for God was. I think it was a version of the Kalam. Was that it? If not, I'll just look it up. Goku, you could go ahead and tell me what Thomas Aquinas
my bad, man. My mic was off. My bad.
Yeah, what was his let me see what his argument for God's existence was.
It's pretty much he's just explaining that, man, the nature itself.
Oh, first mover, yeah, the cosmological argument. It's a version of the Kalam, yeah, the cosmological argument. Yeah, so even if we were to accept the entire premise of the cosmological argument, that doesn't get us to the Christian God either. Because I can just say that the first mover was Olodumare. Do you know who Olodumare is?
My bad, man. You're cutting off. My bad. It's like
Not a problem. I said that even if we accept the cosmological argument, it doesn't get us to the Christian God. All it does is gets us to a prime mover,
he never
and we
said
don't know
it
what
a
a prime
Christian
mover is.
God, man. Like he said it just he didn't point it out to Jesus. He pointed out that there is a creator, like the argument that there's a creator out there. And
Okay,
not
cool.
Christian
Let's say
God.
okay, cool. So let's say there is a creator out there. How do we know that creator is a God, or that it's even something deliberate?
What?
How do we know that creator is a God, or that it's even something deliberate?
Can you elaborate for that? What do you mean by deliberate?
When I mean about deliberate, you see how we have agency, we have deliberate action. I just said agent. My bad. I should have said agent.
Yeah.
So how do we know that it's a God, or even something that's an agent? Like it could just be a natural force that we don't understand.
That's the thing, man. Like, okay, that's the thing. His main argument is that whether we call it a God or an agent, there's a creator out there. So Christians used to like there's a God because that's a term out there. It's kind of hard to use when you're like a Christian and you'll be like there's a certain nature out there because like this language is just not inclined with its principles and values. His argument itself is saying it's like there is a certain force or there's just certain behind the natural selection that provide the certain propagations and phenomena and not just happen for out of nothing.
Yeah, I mean, there is like because his argument is going into like the philosophy of existence of why is there something rather than nothing. Sure, that's a big mystery of why is there something rather than nothing. There had to always be something, or something, had to happen for us to be here. Yeah, sure, we can accept all that, but what does that lead us to? We just don't know what that is yet. Why does it have to be a creator or some sort of force out there that made everything? That's not necessarily true.
So your claim is that there is, are you like kind of skeptic or like absolute about it that there is nothing out there?
As of right now, I have no proof that there's anything out there.
So you're kind of like still skeptic about it.
Yeah, if you were to show me that there's something out there, yeah,
okay,
sure.
Gotcha. Well, for me, man, like I said, there's no right or wrong between us. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, we're standing on the same position that you're telling me, okay, prove to me there is a God. I would tell you the same thing with your answer that prove to me that there's no God. Your position right now to prove yourself that there's no God is the same position that I have right now. If you're going to ask me, prove to me there's God.
No, not really, because you have the burden of proof.
Yeah, not being able to prove something doesn't exist is not the same as proving something does exist.
Because here's the thing, Goku. Things that don't exist by definition don't manifest in our sense experience. So even if I were to say that God doesn't exist, I have no other thing to prove, because like I said, it hasn't manifested in our sense experience. So unless you can show unless you can demonstrate this God manifesting in our sense experience, I can even say that no God exists.
You could say that there is an invisible, invincible, God-destroying penguin, and therefore the existence of the invincible, God-destroying penguin that cannot be disproven is proof that there's no such thing as God, because if there was, it automatically destroys God.
You repeat that again, Cheesy?
You could say that there's an unprovable, invisible, invincible, God-destroying penguin. And because you can't disprove that there is such a thing, is proof that there's no such thing as a God, because by God-destroying penguin. So for the God-destroying penguin to exist automatically proves that gods don't exist, because if they did, it would destroy them.
I remember this one. I remember this argument. That it was a funny one.
Well, as oh shit.
All good.
I mean, that's your own logic, Goku.
But for me, it's just like personally. I mean, I'm not gonna say personally or something like that, because like I'm just saying. So, because this is my first time being in your live, man, and I've never heard of your premises. I just read what you're up there.
Mhm.
It's like I'm not sure if you're absolute or just skeptic about it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh no,
know
I
if
don't.
you're-
I don't believe in a God at all.
So you don't believe in a God at all,
Hmm.
but so what's your so explain to me your stand in terms of how things work, how we created and we were stuff.
How things work, physics.
What saying physics, like physics, biology? We named it. Like those are phenomena that we name. Like okay, this is physics. Okay, this is certain branch we named in biology. It's not like physics talk to us and we're like, I
Right.
am physics.
Oh, of course, but that's not. But the thing is that that's what I was saying before when you mentioned energy. Like these are not the phenomena that we see out in the universe and Earth. They're not agents. They don't talk to us. We just describe what we're seeing on the universe.
Right.
So it's like when you
So pretty much you're saying like, okay, this is all given and we just discover it and it's just out of nowhere.
yeah, we exist in this universe and we need and we develop language as human beings. So we wanted to
created
describe
value of ourselves. This is what you believe in.
we do what?
We created value for ourselves.
Yes, we did. Just like the dollar.
This is a dollar. We just made up and just like and we just made up and now we're just starting debating and trying to arguing to each other.
Yeah, exactly. Just like the dollar, we create value for ourselves.
Right. It's just like for me, like I said, man, it would go down which is more compelling for us. Because like if you feel like if we're out of nothing and we're trying to cure world hunger, well, that's great. And we're trying to like
out of nothing.
You say what?
I don't believe we're out of nothing.
Isn't like you just said like it's just we're nothing. Like we it just happened and we just created value. So we're out of something.
Yeah, I mean, like nothing doesn't exist. There's no such thing as nothingness. You know what I mean? It's because the moment you point to something, what does it become? The moment you point to nothing, what does it become? It becomes something.
I'm asking your claim. I'm asking your premise. So how do you think? So you believe in the Big Bang theory?
Yeah, Big Bang has evidence.
So you believe? So how did the Big Bang start? You know what I'm saying? How did it started? It blasted out of nothing. It was nothing. Then boom, there were certain patterns and orders.
The Big Bang doesn't say it was nothing. It's just a point of our. It's just a point of physics that we don't understand yet. That doesn't mean it's absolutely nothingness.
What did it start? What I'm saying.
What started the expansion? Don't know.
I'm starting. Like, how did it started? I want you to explain.
Listen, go. I've said this about 4 times now. I don't know how the expansion happened in the Big Bang, but that doesn't mean that what preceded the Big Bang had to be absolutely nothingness. Nothingness cannot exist.
So there is something.
There was always something. Nothingness cannot exist. There's no such thing as nothing. Because remember what I just asked you. The moment you point something to nothing, what does it become? It becomes something. I
totally understand that.
But it becomes something.
You're saying there's no good evidence. That's not this. Because I feel like you equate God to a Christian God. Just say there's no good evidence of something. I think that's your claim.
No, my claim is that there's no good evidence for a God. Any God.
What I'm saying is like, okay, man.
The argument that nothing has meaning without the existence of God.
Is that his argument? Is that what you're trying to say, Lance?
That's exactly what he's saying.
It seems like it. I ain't gonna lie.
What I'm trying to say is
like, for me.
How is something has meaning? Well, we could say it that way. Because I don't want to use God. Because if I want to use God, you guys trying to point it to religion. What I'm saying is like,
so you're trying to point towards deism, like a God that exists.
That's a deity out there, or not like deity. Let's use your language. Something.
Okay, so basically, your position is more onto deism, where there was an all powerful agent that made something, and then
I'm not saying all powerful at all right now, man. I'm just saying, what do you call it? An orb, an atom. There is something out there.
Yeah, we're something. You see, I'm something. You're something.
No, I'm totally get it. What I'm saying, before everything was done and propagated and evolved,
There had to be something. Yeah, there were, that's what I'm saying. There always had to be something. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it was supernatural. That's what I'm trying to come get you at. Get what I mean there?
Oh, that two loading shit in TikTok. It's just like stop by. Can you repeat that one more time?
Yeah, I said that I agree that they always had to be something. The Big Bang had to start from that. There was something that preceded the Big Bang that we don't understand yet. There always had to be something. You know what I'm saying? Because nothingness is not a thing. That nothingness cannot exist.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? But like, what I'm trying, my position is that it doesn't necessarily mean that it was something supernatural. Doesn't necessarily mean that it was an agent, a god, or something deliberate. It could just be natural processes that we don't understand yet.
That's beyond our understanding.
Yeah, it's beyond our understanding. Is that, I mean, when human beings first started, like in prehistory, like when we were all hunter-gatherers, the existence of Jupiter was completely beyond their understanding. You see what I'm saying? Like if you were to go back then and try to tell someone that out in the sky somewhere, you see that star right there, that little thing that moves in the sky, that's actually another planet that's 3 times bigger than ours. They won't understand that shit. That's way beyond their understanding. You see what I'm saying? So that's right now, so right now, what preceded the Big Bang is beyond our understanding. We just don't get it yet.
But on the other hand, you gotta also understand when the theory of evolution, my bad, with Darwin, there was no certain like good evidence in a certain fossil fuels that some species have evolved and such.
Which one? Which species does not have?
When he was like talking about like the beak,
you can actually prove
the bird,
evolution
the beak.
now. It's happening in Australia. There's a type of newt in Australia that is both giving live birth and laying eggs, dependent on the climate that it's in. So they're actually
isn't it that like the theory of entropy?
No.
Nah, not at all. That's evolution, bro. That's evolution in action.
Yeah, we're actually seeing evolution in action happen right now. I appreciate all the gifts, y'all. Don't think I didn't see. I do appreciate the gifts. But yeah, when it comes to evolution, the question that I was trying to ask, and we do have about 2 minutes left, but the question all good. The question I was trying to ask is like, what species do you know does not have actual evidence that it evolved from something?
Because his claim we came from apes, so you believe that?
Yeah, it said that we came from apes. We are apes, and I can prove that too.
Can you prove? I do understand. I do understand. Yeah, chromosomes. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Okay. The second chromosome in our body is fused, right? Do you know that there's only one other species on this planet that has a fused chromosome? Do you know what that is?
Those are apes.
The chimpanzee.
But how about like the pattern of the DNA?
We share 98% of our DNA with chimpanzees, 97% of our DNA with gorillas, 96% of our DNA with orangutans.
My bad, man. My bad. You say what again?
We share 98% of our DNA with chimpanzees, 97% of our DNA with gorillas, 96% of our DNA with orangutans.
Then why do those apes didn't evolve then?
They did.
Well,
evolution is not a ladder.
They became like us.
They didn't need it could be for several reasons. Their environmental pressure didn't, sexual selection, their environment didn't require it.
Pressure that was provided for us to be like this.
Well, one of the environmental pressures that we left the trees. We were in the Sahara.
We left the what?
We left the trees.
We left the trees in?
Yeah, we left because we left the trees. We were in another environment. Now it's not 100% because of environment. Remember, like there's gonna be a lot of biologists that correct me on this, but it's not 100% of our environment. But our environment had a lot to do with it. Not only that, we learned how to cook meat.
You're 100% right. I think the terminology they usually use is we came down from the trees.
Right. We came down from the trees. Basically, the apes evolved in like the jungles in the trees. We still have our tailbones, as a matter of fact. But when we left the trees, when we came down from the trees and we went into the Sahara, we had to stand upright because dragging your knuckles on the Sahara actually hurts. So the environmental pressure, we had to stand upright.
Seeing over the high grass is a defense mechanism because there are predators in that high grass. And so we needed to stand upright to see over that grass to see what is out there to unalive us.
Exactly. And if you want to know why did we develop this, what we're doing right now, speech, Also because of the same reason. We had to warn other people that a predator is nearby.
And also we used it as communication with our fellow pack to hunt down prey.
Exactly. All these things that we're talking about, the ancestors of chimpanzees and gorillas, they didn't need while they were still in the jungle. But we have about 30 more seconds. Goku, you have anything else for me?
No, man. I think we could just, like I said, like I totally understand. I was just like, I hope we have a longer time, but for the respect of other people, I think we could agree to disagree on this one. You know what I'm saying? But I totally understand.
Hey, Goku, will you look something up for me?
Sure, man.
Look up Ricky Gervais.
Ricky Gervais? For real?
Hold
You're
on.
going to use Ricky Gervais, man.
Can I finish?
As a source?
Can I finish?
Let him finish.
Oh, all right, okay.
Look up Ricky Gervais on Afterlife. There's this really interesting it's from a show, all right? But they have this really interesting debate where his coworker comes up to him asking him why he doesn't go around graping and unaliving as much as he likes. And he says, I do, which is none.
All right, totally understand. And can you also look up something for me, man? So I think it's good that we both do research, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. So can you also look Pints with Aquinas on YouTube and listen their claims and debates against atheism? And I think
Sure.
that's how we could agree with. Is that cool?
Yeah,
Sure.
we can do that.
I appreciate it, man. It's nice talking to you, bro. All
That's
love,
on to you
bro.
too.
Appreciate that.
Not a problem. All right, y'all. So I do appreciate the guests. I do appreciate you all being here. We had 6.3K likes. Cheesy, you wanted to stay up for a little bit, or you got something else to do, bro?
Bro, I'm chilling.
Chilling. All right, not a problem. I'm sorry if I don't rope you in a lot. It's because I like to do these. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and keep on trucking.
You can use me whenever you need. I spent 3 years in a Christian school, and I survived the indoctrination. Kind of came out unscathed,
Yeah, a lot of people don't. I know I didn't. So still a lot of indoctrination.
I guess I did come out unscathed, or I mean, I guess I didn't come out unscathed because the one thing I took from it is I want to save people from themselves.
Hey, and that's a good goal, man. I'm in mental health counseling right now. I'm in a master's program for it, and when I become a therapist, I actually want to join the organization Therapy Beyond Belief and Grief Beyond Belief, because like when I first lost someone after becoming an atheist, I was like, wow, I'm never gonna see this person again. Then that really, really hurt. You know what I mean? It was really tough to deal with. So I know there's a lot of people who are going through the same thing, and I know there's a lot of people who want to have therapy, even if they are religious. They just don't want to hear pray the problem away anymore. They want actual like solutions to their issues. They want someone to hear them out. So that's why I want to become a therapist one day. And hopefully when I do that, I can do therapy lives. That'll come in 2027 when I graduate and get my license.
Right on, man.
All right, you guys, we're going to keep on trucking and bring the next guest on. I'm going to bring Cognizance first. I do see you, Blessed, but Cognizance was in the queue like from a long time ago. If they're not here anymore, I'm going to bring you up. All right, Blessed? Because Cognizance was here a long time ago. I'm not sure if they're still there. Give me a second, y'all. Let me fix my mic. All right, y'all. Keep liking it live. Keep sharing it. We're at 7.4K likes. 66 people in here. We're at 7.4K likes. 66 people in here. 63 people in here. Go ahead and keep liking it live. Keep sharing it. Keep liking it live and keep sharing it. Oh, Bless dropped out. Oh, you typed by mistake. All right, no problem. They typed by mistake. All right, y'all, but keep liking it live and keep sharing it. We are here. I've been here for about an hour and a half. If I don't get another guest, probably within the next, I would say 5 to 10 minutes, I'll go ahead and end it and move on. Why do I care if you all believe in God? I really don't care. The only issue is that when it actually becomes a problem. When it actually becomes a social and political problem, that's when I start to care. And the reason why it's a social problem for my demographic is because people there are people who have very, very negative views on people who don't have a God belief. So I want to normalize myself, and I also want to spread skepticism and education. That's why I would care.
Yo, did you ever hear about the one about how the painting of Jesus, how everybody believes like Jesus is a white man now, is actually because of a painting by there was a contest between Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo, and it was by one of the Roman emperors. I don't remember his
It
name.
was by the Borgias, the Pope.
The Borgias. Yeah. And they
The painting is actually of Cesare Borgia, and they
Yeah.
wanted the depiction of Cesare Borgia as
who's his
Christ.
son? Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. Gotcha. How's it going, little Monica?
Hi, how are you?
I'm all right.
I just came across your live, and it says talk to me about atheism. I've been an atheist forever. I mean, no matter how much they tried to drill Christianity or religion into me, it just, as they say, it didn't take. And I've been an outlier, an outcast all my life. So it's just nice to see another person of color, especially a Black person. I'm meeting a lot more of them now, I mean, later in life, but it's really nice to see that a lot of people, especially Black people who are learning to understand how Christianity, at least, I can't speak for everything, was definitely a negative imposed upon us, utilized to enslave us, and has not been the saving grace for our people as they would like to believe it is, especially when you start reciting scripture and telling them, when you start making sense and people want to argue with you back and forth. And I'm too old now. I just turned 53 last week. And when people want to debate with you, I say, look, I'm not going to debate this with you because it's really not a debate. And I would just wanted to give you some advice in regards to talking to people. When you start talking to people about it, because the problem is a lot of times what you're saying makes sense to them, and they can't reconcile it with what they've been taught all their life.
LaMonica, I'm sorry. Can I interrupt you really, really quickly? I do
Absolutely.
appreciate you. Welding Fool, just come on up and request, bro. If you have enough people, that is, because I couldn't invite you up. But if you actually want to have this discussion, stop chatting in the comments. Actually come up. I'll talk to you. I'll tell the guests to mute up real quick, and me and you can talk one-on-one. But you doing all this in the comments is like it's annoying. I hate when y'all do that. Stop asking questions in the comments and actually come up. Oh, you're suspended to the 17th? All right, that's too bad. All right, so next time I do this live, why don't you come up? I do this every Sundays, Mondays, and Tuesdays. LaMonica, I do apologize. Go ahead and keep going.
No, you're fine. It's your life, and I understand how people connect. But my main thing is I have actually a girlfriend who's actually a church minister, and we have these discussions all the time. And I guess one time we kind of got a little intense. I was reaching her in a certain way. I said, I'm not telling you not to believe, and she said, well, I don't want to argue with you. I said, you're not arguing with me. I said, what you're at war with is your common sense. I said, because what I'm saying is making a lot of sense to you, and you're at war. Your common sense is trying to rise up, is what's happening, but your indoctrination is not allowing it. So.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like me as a person, like my father was a pastor. My father is a pastor, right? And not only that, the Caribbean community, like it's very, very difficult to not be a religious person in the Caribbean community. You know what I mean? Because it's like, if you don't, a lot of the culture, I would say specifically for Haitians, a lot of the culture is built on something called the 3 L's: l'église, l'école, la caille. And what that means is church, school, home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's really built off of that. And my dad said, when my dad found out I wasn't a believer, he even said that, listen, you're Haitian, we're Christian, and that's it. He didn't want to hear nothing else. You know what I mean? So it's really built around that. And my fiance, she's Jamaican. You know what I mean? She said it was the same thing with her. So it's like it's very, very difficult because people tend to have these assumptions of, because you believe, you're either angry at God, or you're like super depressed, or something is mentally wrong with you, or you're going through some things.
You hear all of that, yeah. something's
Yeah.
wrong with you. Who hurt you? And
Yeah, that.
they always, and my response to that is always, there is nothing that has happened to me that has not happened to anybody else in this world. The only difference is that I just don't believe that there is a higher power. I just don't believe it. And there has never been any evidence enough to prove to me that that exists. And, I said, there's nothing to me as an atheist that's not going to happen to you. I said, I'm going to die. My family, people are going to get cancer. People are going to have financial problems. All of these things happen to people who believe. There's nothing that happens to a person who doesn't believe that doesn't happen to a person who does. The only thing that is different is that you believe after you die that you're going to this heavenly place. That's the only thing that's different for us. So when they ask you that, it's funny. So
Yeah, I've always said the same exact thing. I'll be like, y'all, when folks of mine found out that I didn't believe anymore, especially the people I grew up in church with, you know what I mean? I'll be like, y'all, nothing changed. I'm still the same guy, y'all. Nothing changed. The only thing that changed is that I don't believe when we pass away, I'm gonna see you and my grandmas and my aunts and everything like that. I don't believe I'm gonna see y'all in the clouds and I'm gonna be worshiping the big guy forever and ever, and we're gonna live in a city of gold with a crown. Listen, I've heard such ridiculous versions of heaven. It'll it'll make you laugh. I've heard such ridiculous versions of heaven that it's crazy. But yeah, I said that's the only difference, y'all. I just no longer believe in the higher power. That's really it.
And the thing with that is, I always tell people, I said, actually, when they say it means you're not appreciating life, I said, actually, my not believing that I'm going to see the people I love, like my father and my grandmother and stuff like that, after I die, is because it makes me cherish the time I have now, because I know, because in my mind, once it's over, it's over. So it's my job to get as much out of life later, because if you actually don't really believe that you're going to be resurrected, or that you're going to see that person again, then to me, you're not really dealing with the finality of everything, and you're not really dealing with the fact that there is going to be a time when you don't exist anymore, and you have literally run out of time, because that is the concept of heaven extends your time with your loved ones.
That's what I was saying. It makes the finite makes it more precious.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. Can I interrupt y'all for 1 second? Because I was gonna rope you in, Cheesy, but give me 1 second, guys. Mega 6, I do see you in the box. I'm gonna bring you up. Give me about 2-3 more minutes with LaMonica and Cheesy, and I'll bring you up. But yeah, Cheesy had brought that up earlier. He said that it makes it being finite makes it even more precious, and I feel the same way. You were saying that as well, Cheesy, right?
Yeah. I was saying the fact that life is finite as opposed to infinite makes it all the more precious, because you only get it for the little bit of time that you get it for.
Yeah, exactly. And I found out when I realized that I was an atheist, I was like, wow, okay, I don't believe in this God anymore, but I only got one shot at this. And if I only have one shot at this, like, why would I, be mean to people? Why would I be rude? Why would I not tell the people that I care about every single day that I love them? Because guess what? If I step outside, it could be it. You know what I mean? So it's like, and that's why I say that I want to not only be as a good person as possible, but to also help as much people as possible, which is why I want to go into the mental health field. You know what I mean? I want to help as much people as possible to live a better life themselves. And I've always said, man, if I had the finances of someone like a Zuckerberg or an Elon Musk or a Bezos, like, life for a lot of people would be so much better, because I will literally buy up things. You know what I mean? I will go to Brooklyn or the Bronx and I will buy up all those projects, and because I have unlimited money. You know what I mean? Like, I'll make life so much better for people, because that's something that I want to do.
And you can fight against all the politicians.
Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, you have even though I don't, as far as religion, someone like Bob Marley, who, what he did with one of his songs was he gave the writing rights to someone who ran a soup kitchen, so he would in perpetuity always have money from the royalties coming to that coming to that soup kitchen because he wanted people to be fed. This is something, I mean, the same way, if I had a ton of money, I would be like, how would I build a trust to make sure that homelessness was taken care of? How would I build a trust to make sure that people, if I was a billionaire too, but, and I think that matters more is the legacy you leave in regards to how you helped other people, not how much you got, because that's one of the things I find appalling about a lot of the way what they call the prosperity gospel, people using religion for money.
Oh boy.
I can go on all day. Don't let me go off on people because I'll make you mad, honey. These folks in the comments would not like me, honey.
You know what's crazy about just go ahead.
Just remember, Republican Jesus said we can't feed all these people. That would create dependency.
It would make them lazy.
That would create dependency. So we can't feed all these people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what makes me, what's so funny about prosperity gospel? I'm not even a Christian, right? But I get pissed off by it because it's like, these people believe sincerely with all their hearts, and these are well-meaning people. These are well-meaning people, and they believe sincerely with all their hearts that if they give their rent check to you, if they give their escrow money to you, God is going to bless them, or, this almighty genie in the sky is going to bless them with abundance and all more. But all you're doing is pocketing that money. All you've done for the past 40 to 50 years is pocket grandma's money, and then when she passes away, you won't even do her funeral. It pisses me off to no end. And I don't even believe in this stuff, right? I don't believe in this, but I don't like to see other people get taken advantage of no matter what they believe. You know what I'm saying? I hate to see it. And the fact that these elderly people who are living check to check, I work in insurance, right? So I hear every single day, not every day, but I hear like on my work days, I'm living paycheck to paycheck. You know what I mean? I can't afford this. And I'm like, and I could hear in the background of them saying they're going to give to this church or that church. And it's like, I don't want to expose these people. I'm not going to say their names or whatever. But like, I was on this call with a person who was calling to make a claim. And it's like, yo, he's on a fixed income, makes $1,000 a month. You feel me? I know his car insurance rate is going to go up, even if it's not his fault for putting that in that claim. But he's in the background talking about how he needs to give to the church. And it's like, yo, your church could pay. I know your church could pay off that claim because you don't go to a small church. I heard the church he went to. He doesn't go to a small church. It's one of those churches that we see on TV. You know what I mean? That's the member of the church that he was part of, that he said that he was part of. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I know the pastor of that church can pay off everything on this bill, but he's not going to do it. You know what I mean? He is not going to do it because why? What Cheesy said. Republican Jesus. You feel me?
But another thing, and I'll land my plane and let other people come up so you can talk to other people. But a lot of people just don't want to admit that, and they don't like a lot about atheism is that we are the people who have the fortitude to stand against the societal norm. That we are the people that says, no, I'm just not. It's not happening. You can say what you want. You can ostracize me. You can ridicule me. They've been burned at the stake, but we're the people that won't be manipulated. And people don't like when they're not able to manipulate you. Because that's really all it is. It's a tool of manipulation and social control. And they don't like when here's a person I cannot manipulate. Here's a person I cannot control with guilt and fear of their whatever circle of hell they're going to send me to in that particular week, or depending on the argument. So, and that's one of the things about atheism that a lot of people. Yeah.
Hey, listen, I want to tell y'all about all the versions of heaven that I've heard. I've heard 3 versions of heaven. I've heard 7 versions of hell. It's crazy. But the next time I do this, I'm definitely y'all definitely come around so we can talk about that. All right.
Thank you. Thank you for having me up, and I'll probably come back around next time you talk. Thank you for having me.
Not a problem, Monica. I appreciate you.
All right.
All right, I'm gonna bring Mega 6 up. I do appreciate LaMonica. Big W to LaMonica in the chat, y'all. We have 10.4K people in here. I'm sorry, 10.4K likes. I keep confusing that. 57 people in here. I do appreciate all the gifts. I do appreciate all the likes. Let's get us up to 15K likes. And Thurman, yes, I am an atheist, Thurman. Mega 6, how's it going?
Yeah, man. First of all, you probably don't remember me, but I used to live back in the valley. Back when we was hey, I think
I do remember you. What's good, bro? What's good? See, what's good, man? What's been going on? See?
Yeah.
Yo, it's been a while. See, yo, after I moved, what happened after I moved, bro?
I mean, it mostly stayed the same. It mostly stayed the same. You know, I went after middle school. You went to De Leon, right?
I went to De Leon. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so I ended up switching to Cathy Middle School, and after that, I started going to. Yeah, but you know, it was pretty much regular. You know, it was all Hispanic and just 5 black people.
Yeah, I know. you know how that go, bro. We all knew how that went. But yeah, there were when I moved back to Florida, I was like, wow, there was probably a lot of, you know, those girls over there that probably wanted me, but I didn't know it at that time, you know. I didn't realize it at the time, you know. But like when I was like, man, maybe I'll find them when I get older. I never did.
Yeah, the perspective has been changing a lot. Although I'm going to keep it on the religious theme, but I was thinking like this was the perspective on like race stuff and how that's kind of changed in my mind, because I used to see like all Hispanic people as like a Hispanic, but now I kind of see like, okay, no, some Hispanic people are white people, and that's where the issues were coming from. But that's a different thing. But as far as on the religious side, I kind of started switching from religious because back then I was kind of a Jehovah's Witness because of my dad, but then my mom kind of, you know, they got divorced and started going to like, you know, regular churches as I would call them. But I kind of stuck to like the Jehovah's Witness beliefs for a while because I was like, because just the Christian, the Trinity stuff just seems so crazy. I mean, like I was more of a literalist. It's like I took the Bible very literally, most part. So I was like, if they says that he's the son of God, then he's the son of God. He's not God himself.
Right.
So I kept it around 21 or so. I got into this predicament where I was like, I wanted the everlasting life, but I also kind of didn't think God was a good person. I was like, I don't like this guy. You know what I'm saying? But then I was like, well, you can't do good. And then I just kept remembering that one thing was like, it was a catch-22. No amount of good deeds could get you into heaven. So if I really didn't love God, I couldn't go to heaven no matter what I did. But I was like, I'll do all the stuff, right? I just want you know, and it was like it was like a trap.
Yo, what made you think God wasn't?
That's kind of my.
Hold on, I think Cheesy had a question. Cheesy, go ahead and say that again.
Okay, so
What made you think God wasn't a good person? Was it Leviticus, where God details the logistics of buying and selling slaves?
You know, well, first,
that's what it was for me.
It came out to like a lot of different preachers, right, and the stuff that they would say, right. So first, I got a lot. They have a lot of people that would say like, oh, you know, if bad things are happening in your life, it's because, you know, you have kind of done something God doesn't like. That's how a lot of the churches, especially down there, they have like Pentecostal stuff. They have like these New Age churches with like the guitars and all that. So you know, I remember there was this one sermon that was like, you got to be under God's umbrella. And if you're under God's umbrella, like He's gonna protect you. And I was like, all right, man, yeah, I'm not doing the stuff right. But then I just noticed that like moral stuff didn't really line up with like right stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like it didn't, like it just didn't seem like there was like times in which I could do something. Right. Yeah, like it didn't feel right. And then now as time goes on, I've kind of done a little bit of traveling. So I went to Colombia and I started seeing something and, you know, touching just a little bit on race. But okay, so there's a lot of black people in Colombia. First of all, a lot of people don't know that, but it's blacker than the United States. It's super black. So, but one thing that was bothering me is that there's this place called Quibdó, which is like pretty much an all black city in Colombia. And they have like, you know, they're pretty much Catholic there. Like I want to say like 30%. And then some of them are something like Catholic, but not quite. You know, I can't describe it. It's something else, but it's, you know, they mix in a lot of stuff.
Probably Santeria.
Yeah. So they have these like little parades, and there's like a bunch of black people, but some of them are light skinned, and they do like reenactments of like religious things where like they have like a little kid as like the Virgin Mary, right? But of all these super dark black people there, they chose the one kind of light skinned black girl, and I mean like they're like, I don't want to sound bad, but like, you know, like Haitian, Nigerian type dark, most of them. But there was a one light skinned person, and that's the person they chose to be like the Virgin Mary in this thing. I was like, oh, I wonder why they chose her.
I know
You
exactly what you're
know?
talking about.
And they have all these black people, but you go to the church and it's all these white paintings and like they have these little shrines everywhere. Like a lot of the stores, it's like they have to put God bless. It's like they're so Catholic there. And they also books. So actually, are you good? I know you've been.
I'm still here. Sorry about
Okay, I know you were studying Spanish. You still going with that?
I kind of gave up, man, because I had to switch jobs anyway. So it's like I didn't need it for the second job that I was gonna get. So I kind of gave up on that Spanish. I still retain some of it though. But my dad, he still speaks fluent Spanish. You know, you remember my dad, right? He still speaks very fluent Spanish.
Wait, so wait, now that I think about it, oh yeah, no, that's personal. Never mind.
No problem. Yeah, I mean, I know exactly what you're talking about because I started to notice that with the race thing that you're pointing out too. I'm like, why does the God that we worship not look like us? That's what that's one of those things that really made me question, because like every single Haitian church I went through, I've been to African American churches, I've been to Catholic churches that were black, and I'm like, Jesus doesn't look like us. Why is that? You know what I mean? And it really didn't. It seems really strange. And I'm sorry to make this a race thing, y'all. I do apologize, but it's like it seemed really strange. You know what I'm saying? So I started to really question that. You feel me? And that's probably one of the things that caused me to deconstruct as well. It's like I don't understand that. Oh, Anita Rodriguez, I do see you in the box. I'm gonna bring you up right after Mega 6, but yeah, Mega, it's been I know it's been a while since we talked, but yeah, these are things that got me questioning as well. So I do feel you on that.
I mean, if what we have been told is true, that Jesus comes from where? Bethlehem,
in Palestine, he'll be dark skinned.
He could look Palestinian in nature, right? Right. Which adds a lot of validity to the whole. You know, in Israel, it's actually illegal to get a DNA test without a court order, because that undermines the narrative of God's promised land or God's people in the promised land.
I never knew that.
Yeah.
I actually never knew that. That's a very good one. But yeah, Mega, you follow me, right? I think I do follow you. I think I'll follow you. Yeah, let me follow you back. But yeah, Mega, you have any you have anything else? But because it's been really good to talk to you again, man.
Yeah, I think probably the last point here is that probably the part where I feel like I'm struggling right now is obviously nearly everyone else in my family is still pretty religious. You know what I'm saying? They're still, in fact, I'm working with someone in my family who does like religious kind of cartoons. And now I feel like it's actually a bad thing to kind of assist people, you know, making these kind of cartoons and works pretty much to kind of preach, you know, like the last one we worked on is pretty much because it's kind of a 7-day Adventist thing. They're very anti like Halloween, right? Yeah. So, you know, it's like a little story where we're trying to like convince people not to go out in Halloween because it's got pagan origins and all that. And I just kind of feel like, is it even moral like right now for me to like produce this real, right? Because before I kind of was like, even after I left it, I was kind of like, it's kind of good that these churches are out there because like they're usually kind of safe places, you know, and they're kind of doing good. But I'm like, is it a net good? That's what I still not sure if it's a net good. I think it's a net negative now that I'm kind of older, you know what I'm saying?
I feel you.
So that's
I remember
like
that you do used to draw. So you're basically where I was, I think probably like about 10 years ago. You're in the beginning of the deconstructing phase, basically seeing how, you know, this is all set up and questioning the morals of the character of God in the Bible, right?
Yeah, it's like I kind of already kind of was like, yeah, the either A doesn't exist, but I always kind of felt like if I was going to have a kid, I'd probably like kind of have him hang around Christian people or something. But now I'm kind of feeling like that's actually a bad thing to where doing that might be like negative, but then it's like I don't have a lot of other, like it's very hard to figure it all out. Like what is right and wrong, right? You know,
I
like
got
that,
you.
like it's
No,
hard to
it's
figure that out, you know, without just some rule books and say just don't lie, because that was my thing before. I would just never lie.
Yeah, it is hard, but one thing I started to realize is that basically all moral systems are based on, you know, consequences. The consequences in a society, if you do this, the consequences is that. So it's either going to be negative or positive consequences. You feel what I'm saying? So the way I started to look at it was that if I see something that has a very negative consequence, we can view that as moral or immoral or evil, and the things that have pro-social positive consequences we can view as good. Yeah, you feel me? So when I started looking at that, I was like, do we really need to use the Bible for that? Because there are things in the Bible that are completely immoral. You know what I'm saying? Like Cheesy brought that up earlier, like slavery. Yeah, I mean, like a a victim and having to marry her rapist. Now people can say that, oh, these were a long time ago, but at the end of the day, if God is all powerful and knows all these things, he knows that this would be seen as disgusting, and he could come up with a better system than a woman marrying her rapist. He could come up with a better system than that because he's all knowing.
Not only that, he speaks out against eating shellfish. He speaks out against wearing garments of different types of cloth, but he doesn't speak out against rape. He doesn't speak out against slavery. Like, I'm sorry, he really just didn't think that needed to go in the book. What?
It was an oversight. Yeah, I mean, he had a busy weekend.
Maybe it's more of like yo, I didn't think I needed to spell this out for y'all.
Yeah, I mean, like it was a busy weekend. He was like, "Hey guys, like, come on, this should have been obvious, right?" Like, no, it wasn't, because you told us to have rules around owning people just 3 chapters before, so we're kind of confused here.
Right, like you told us we could inherit other people to our children as property.
Jeez.
Oh
yeah. And then I guess the last thing that, like, this was, and this had been happening even before I kind of left the religion, was which parts were quote unquote poetry and which parts were quote unquote like literal. Because that's kind of what started me on my breaking point, because I would take things literal where other people would say it's poetry or it's like a story that has like a moral behind it. He didn't really do that. He didn't really do this, etc. It's like poetry. And I'm like, well, which parts?
Yeah.
It's like it's impossible to know. You know?
They always say you can't take the Bible literal. But then what do they do when they say Jesus is the way, the truth, and the light? That's the only way, right? They're taking that completely literal. So it circles back around to the same repeating circle logic.
Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt y'all, but appreciate you, Nick Graves, for getting me to my goal. I'm gonna set up a new goal soon. I do appreciate it. Yeah, we had 10.8K likes, 36 people in here. I do appreciate you guys for all being in here. And Chris, I'm gonna invite you up next because I don't like chatting to the comments, and I see you have a lot to say. But I could bring Chris and Matthew up if you guys want to come up and have a little discussion. But yeah, see, that's what I was saying before. I don't know if you remember the name of the church that we went to, because I don't remember it either. It was some church that was in Mission, but like they used to say that to us all the time in the Sunday school classes. They used to be like, "Oh, this part is, you know, in parable, but this part is literal." And that used to always be a question. I remember we got in trouble for that before when we actually asked, "Okay, which one is a parable and how do we tell the difference?" They didn't want to tell us. It seemed like they was getting upset, and we're like, we ain't trying to get y'all upset. we really want to know which one is the difference. But they was mad at us, man. Oh, and for everybody who doesn't understand what I'm saying, myself and Mega Six, we grew up together, and we used to live in Texas, in a small. It used to be a small town. It got bigger now, but we grew up together in that small town.
It's gotten bigger.
It's gotten a lot bigger. Yeah. I was there for about 2-3 years, and then I moved back to Florida. And he actually stayed there for a few years. You still there, Mega, or you moved as well?
Nah, I moved back over here. I actually tried to link up with you, but I think you were I thought you were going to law school or something, man. And you were busy or something.
Yeah, I was mad busy.
You were working in a law office or something.
Yeah, I actually live in the Central Florida area now. You still over there?
Wait, you in Central?
Yeah, I'm
I
in
thought
Central.
you were in Miami. Oh snap! We gotta swing by, man.
Oh yeah,
Gotta-
let's
gotta
definitely
swing
link up.
by.
Like, hey, inbox me. I'll definitely text you.
All right, for sure.
I
I'll
appreciate
let
you.
bring someone up.
Gotcha. I appreciate you though, man.
All right, Pete.
Peace. All right, y'all. I'm sorry, I did see a quote that was asking me a question. I think I missed that question. Whoever was asking me a question, I think I missed the question. I do apologize. Muffins. It was a town that was close to the border. What was it? McAllen. That's what it was. McAllen, Texas. Boy, we had a time there. But yeah, Cheesy, exactly what you were saying, man. Is like some parts are metaphorical and some parts are literal. How do we tell the difference? Because they take the part of, Jesus died on the cross as literal, right?
We tell the difference by cherry picking when it suits us.
Yeah, we got cherry pick what it suits us. All right, Chris, you had a lot to say in the comments. I'm gonna go ahead and invite you up. If you do want to go ahead and come up, go ahead and come up. Corpus Christi. That's the church that we used to go. It wasn't a church. That was the city that we used to go to for the church. It was in Corpus Christi. And there was Mission and there was Far. They were all around the same area. Chris, how's it going? Would you mind just giving me a second? I gotta switch something up. All right, give me one moment. All righty, Chris, you hear me? Do y'all hear me?
I hear you.
I hear you, man. My bad. I'm doing something. I'm trying to set up some. I drive truck, so I'm trying to set up a room for tomorrow. Hold on.
Not a problem. All right, Chris, whenever you're ready.
And I'm over here crawling around on the floor like a tweaker because I just dropped a tiny little piece. I'm putting together a character that would make all the Christians angry. It's a demonic character for Warhammer 40,000.
I've been meaning to play that, yo. Is that a good game, Warhammer?
Dude, it's dope.
I gotta play that.
It takes the entire history of the universe and then adds 40,000 years to the story. And humanity goes through another dark age that's like way worse. Way worse.
That's the one I gotta play that because I know Dune is like 20,000 years into the future, so I gotta play Warhammer to see how it ends up. Is it sort of like what was that game I was thinking about? Is it sort of like Mass Effect?
Not exactly. It's way darker. Way darker.
Darker, gotcha.
They actually include. So there's a lot of people that have theorized and taken canon and compiled everything, and they put together that the Emperor, that the Space Marines are all like, for the Emperor. They put it all together that dude is Jesus. And I don't know if you ever heard of a perpetual.
Yeah.
So a perpetual being someone that when they die, they're just reincarnated.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's reincarnated. He was Muhammad. He was Jesus. He was every religious figure in human history. And he comes back and becomes the Emperor. And some people on Mars call him the Omnissiah because we colonize Mars, and those people don't really communicate with the Earth people, and they became sort of like a separate people. I mean, it's a wild ride.
Gotcha. But we're gonna go ahead and get to Chris. Chris, welcome to the stage, bro. Any type of religion? I think you're Christian because that's what you were talking about in the comments, right?
Yeah, I'm a Christian. Yes.
All right, great. So let's go ahead and put 25 minutes on the clock. We can go ahead and talk about this. What you got for me? What you think?
I don't think evolution and creation are like mutually exclusive. You can believe in both, or you can accept both.
Okay, so how does Adam and Eve fit into the evolutionary story?
It doesn't. It's a story. It's like an allegorical story. Like Genesis 1, though, like just because they got the order wrong, it's not like it's what they understood or what they could see at that time. But you wouldn't like, and like I don't believe that it's like the actual word of God. I believe it's inspired. But so I would say like stories and stuff like that. When they insert a story, it's mostly going to be allegorical.
Okay, so Adam and Eve is allegorical and not actually literal.
Yes, like most of it is not literal. Like if it's a story, it's 9 times out of 10 it's going to be allegorical.
Okay, and allegorical. I think Adam and Eve is actually an allegory for losing your virginity. It's not an actual literal story. So yeah, I could agree with that. All right, cool. So what else you got for me?
Okay. Like when you say faith, like I think the way we use words, like we have to take in consideration the way they used them, like in way the writers used them, like the way they would use them back whenever it was written. So faith in their context meant trust or confidence in a thing. It didn't mean like what we mean faith. Like that doesn't mean the same thing with what we think faith means.
Okay, so trust or confidence in a thing. Yeah, I can have trust or confidence in a thing as well, but that trust and confidence comes backed up with actual evidence or actually good reason to have it. The reason why I say faith is not a reliable pathway to truth is because faith is, even in the Bible, it says that faith is the belief in things unseen. I forgot what the verse is exactly, but I'm pretty sure you'll let me know. But,
The faith is a substance of things unseen, and faith is a substance of things unseen and evidence of things hoped for.
Exactly that. So it's like that's not really how evidence works. You see what I'm saying? So the reason why I say faith is not a reliable pathway to truth is because like you can have faith in anything and be right about it, sure, but you can have faith in something and be 100% wrong about it. So it's basically a coin flip. That's not really reliable.
Yeah, but it's not 100% without evidence. It's like depends on like because philosophical you'll agree that philosophical evidence requires logic and reasoning, and scientific evidence is a whole separate thing that deals with observation, testability, and things like that. But the logic and reasoning, like I understand, it is part of a confirmation bias, but that's a human thing. That's a human trait. Atheists have it. Theists have it. Everyone has it. This is an evolutionary trait.
Definitely.
Like so, if things are confirmed, that is a form of evidence when you go through something. But the problem comes in when we like atheists do this too. Like when we don't count the misses, right? So it's like that's a two-way street. That's a double-edged sword. So it's not only Christians or theists not counting the misses. Atheists do it as well.
Would you mind giving me a second?
Okay.
Atheists would typically argue that we celebrate our wrongs because it's the discovery of new information that corrects our wrongs, right? So like when we were wrong, like it's like, hey, let's celebrate the fact that now we know the truth, and now we know what's right.
All right. So this is what sorry about that. I just got a message. All right. So this is what crap. I actually I lost my train of thought. Chris, can you repeat your like okay because you brought up the thing about the sharpshooter fallacy, like seeing all the hits but ignoring all the misses. Yeah, sure. That does happen. We people do have biases. The difference that I would say with when it comes to science and people who are atheists is that we don't only just go off what we think in science. You don't just go off of what you discovered. What you discovered has to be tested and replicated by other people. And if it's tested and replicated, and we see that it was correct several times, then that's the most likely answer. That's most likely for it to be true. We don't have the same thing in Christianity or any religion, because a lot of the claims we can't actually test for it. So why would we actually, like, what would be the proof there? The proof there would just be, coming up with arguments. But at the end of the day, we can come up with arguments all day, but what is the actual evidence that is true? Because you could come up with a valid argument. It doesn't make the argument sound, and it doesn't mean that what you argued is actually true. I can come up with a valid argument for, Haitian voodoo being the one true religion. Yeah, I'm saying, like, it could be a completely valid argument, but no one's going to be converting anytime soon. Does that make sense?
I get what you're saying. Like, and then this is why I stay away from, like, because, like, I have a different view of religion. Religion to me is like traditions, rituals, practices, and things like that. The faith, it does have faith mixed in there, but the faith is something totally separate. For, like, when I say faith in this instance, I'm talking about the belief in God or Jesus or whoever.
Say that one more time.
Okay. I'm saying, like, when you say religion, that's like practices, rituals, and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little bit of faith speaking in there, but religion, I would say religion isn't faith. Like, religion isn't the belief itself. Like, it contains some of the belief, but it's not the belief. You can have the belief, but you don't have to have the religion. If you get what I'm saying, like, you can have the belief, and you don't have to follow any of the practices, the traditions, the things that are associated with it.
Mm-hmm.
You can just have the belief by itself, because of, like, in my instance, like, I didn't come to Christianity until later in life. Like, I was doing my own thing, so I wasn't really worried about it. Like, I heard it because it's like I'm an American, but other than that, it wasn't a thing like that.
Okay. So your thing is that faith is not only, religion is not only the practices, is also what?
Like, religion is more so the practices and the rituals mixed in with a little bit of belief. Like, it's not the belief itself.
Like,
Okay,
you
so
could
what
be
is it?
Catholic and you could do whatever you want, and as long as you ask for forgiveness at the end of the day, it's all good. You're still going to Sky Daddy's eternal paradise.
No, not at all. No, that's actually part of it. That's actually religion. That's what religion teaches you. That's not faith. What faith teaches me is, like, I have to repent and turn from my actions and do the opposite thing of what I was doing. So repent and apologize aren't the same thing. You have to turn around. It has to be a 180 when you do that.
You're saying you don't have to always practice it, and that's what I'm saying. Like Catholics, like, they don't practice it necessarily, but then they ask for forgiveness, and then it's okay.
Yeah, according to what they believe, but
yeah, exactly.
So
that's why Catholicism is the best version of Christianity, because you can just do whatever you want, and then as long as you say, "Oh, please forgive me," then it's all forgiven, all okay.
Yeah, I guess I'm kind of struggling with what, like, you're trying to tell us. I think I'm kind of struggling with that. Like, what? So religion is not just the faith; it's also the practices.
Yes, if you look up religion, what does it mean? Something that, like, if you look up the etymology of it, it means to bind or to hold.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a practice that you're holding on to. It's a tradition that you're holding on to. Like, you know where religion comes from? It comes from people who had traditions and they repeated their tradition. They had rituals, they repeated those rituals. That's where religion comes from. But the faith,
like a
is
cult,
always there. The faith and things like that were always there. It's just religion developed when they repeated the traditions, repeated the practices, and things like that. And then it was a group of people, right? It's not just one person doing it; it's a group. Like with the faith is deeply personal. It's not a group thing.
Mhm. I mean, yeah, I get that, but so what? I guess I guess I'm trying to understand your point. What are you trying to let us
Like
know
with
here?
I can't with my faith, I can't prove my faith to you, right? I can't. That's something that I can't prove. I only have anecdotal evidence, but it's going to be beneficial to me because it's like these are things I experienced. These are things that happen over and over and over again. So it's not like it's repeated to me because I was in those situations. I was doing this and that and like, oh, that was like skin on my teeth. Like that don't happen 10, 15 times in a row. Like what they say after one time is a coincidence, twice is a pattern, and 3 times is whatever. Three or more times is what I forgot, like kind
It's
of
not.
evidence.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know, man. Cheesy, you think you help me out here because I'm not sure what you're trying to tell us here.
So I mean, the definition he said we could look up the definition. The definition of religion is the belief in or worship of a superhuman power or powers, especially a god or gods, which says nothing about faith.
Right. So, like, does this make Christianity true? What are you? What are we going here with this, Chris? Like, what are we trying to say here?
Like I would say like when you think of, because I don't know, like I get what you're saying because I don't get where you're like I don't think, because Christianity to me is simply this, like don't add or don't subtract from it, the belief in one or not one, but in one, in like a few claims, the life, death, and resurrection of Yeshua and things like that. That's period, nothing else. Don't add baptism, don't add nothing else to that. But that's what Christianity is, the belief in that happened, the belief in the divinity of Yeshua or whatnot.
Okay.
So when like everything else, like the baptism, that would fall under religion. Do this, that would fall under religion to me.
Okay.
So
why should we believe that Jesus died on the cross or anything like that? That's what I'm trying to get at. I get what you're trying to say with religion, like it's more rituals than actual faith.
So just because something isn't practically logical, not logical. Let me say, something isn't practically possible. Something could be logically possible, as long as it doesn't contain a contradiction. So the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ it's practically impossible, but logically contains no contradiction in that. It's not saying where does it say one thing and not the other?
Things don't rise from the dead, so it's logically impossible.
No, it's practically impossible. It's not logically. Logically says.
And what logic? And what logic? Logic and doesn't logic include the physical world?
Not necessarily. So logic is more abstract.
Come on, what's one of the laws of logic?
The law of non-contradiction.
Yeah, exactly.
Like something can be something and not something at the same time.
Yeah, so it's a contradiction for something to rise from the dead.
Where?
Because once things are dead, they're dead. They never come back.
So around the same time as Jesus, there was another resurrection, and that was Nero. You guys know about Nero?
Yes,
I heard about Nero.
So Nero was another resurrection, and one could argue that it was an imposter or whatever, which one could argue the same thing about Jesus. But like Jesus, Nero got a bunch of followers, a whole bunch of followers. You might even call them apostles. He actually traveled around Southern Asia and the Middle East and up to Rome, into Europe. And when he marched on the gates of Rome, when he felt he had enough followers, no, the Romans unalived all of them. And that's not really a story that people tell, because that story didn't really get written into a gospel to where, people eat bread and think it's flesh, people drink wine and think it's blood. It's not based in cultist style ritual like what we do with Jesus today. But it is a very similar circumstance. Do I believe that he actually resurrected? No, I believe that it was somebody who, put on his mask and basically pretended to be Nero, and dude thought he could claim power.
Yeah, pretty much. Right, pretty much. But like the contradiction is the physical contradiction, Chris. Things that are dead don't come back. That contradicts our physical reality.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like that's I'm saying that wouldn't fall under
If that doesn't apply to Jesus, then all you're doing is special pleading.
no, I mean like that. No, I'm saying what you're saying is not. I get what you're saying. It's a practical contradiction. It's not a logical one, though. It's not. It's not logical.
It is logically contradictory. Things that are dead don't come back. Law of non-contradiction, law of excluded middle, law of identity. These are the laws. And if something is dead, it's not alive. So resurrection is logically. So resurrection from the dead is illogical.
Which they thought for a long time was false because of the whole frog experiments with the frog legs bouncing around in the pan.
But okay, so if I go on that, like, right, when we say things that are dead are not alive, right?
Right.
But also we have to understand, like, in that ancient context, and like there were levels of dead. You get what I'm saying, though? Like, it's not. It's not clear cut. Like, as far as
what's the level of dead?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Unconscious. Like if you like unconscious, not breathing, things like that. Like, and they could have thought that, and he could have came back and things like that, and then
for 3 days.
So you saying bro was just in a coma then?
Possibly.
That's actually possible.
Yeah, that's actually possible. He was just in a coma.
There's actually spider venom that'll do that. It'll slow your heart rate and make you, for all intents and purposes, you will appear dead, but you're still alive. You're basically just in a coma, essentially.
Yeah. And like, don't get me wrong, I think that he actually unalived and was in just because, like you say, that is going to be a special pleading, definitely. Like, because it's like it was a supernatural happening, right? So that's what I'm gonna think about that.
Okay, but how do we prove it was a supernatural happening?
Like, you can't, like,
right?
Like, there's like, but then again, like, when you say prove, like, I don't believe proof doesn't exist outside of mathematics. Like, we have strongly supported and like things like that. So it's not.
Okay, so what's the math that shows that Jesus walked on water, rose from the dead?
Wait. Hold on.
Walking on water. Well, okay, so we can do that. Walking on water is not logically impossible.
Wait, if you want to bring up math,
no, it's not. It's not logically impossible.
Let me jump in here for a second. You're bringing up math. I agree with you. Mathematics cannot be disproven, right? Because math doesn't lie, right? So if that's the case, then where's the missing 5.2 billion cubic kilometers of water for there ever to have been a Noah's Ark flood?
Like that's an allegorical story. Like it's not.
Okay, so some stories are allegorical, some stories are literal. Which
No,
story is literal?
I don't.
Yes,
really
you just said that.
No.
Okay, we started this by saying that Adam and Eve is allegorical, and Noah's Ark is allegorical. Wait. We started by saying that Noah's Ark by Adam and Eve is allegorical. Now you're saying that Noah's Ark is allegorical. So I just said that some stories are allegorical, some stories are literal. Yes, right? Okay, so which ones are allegorical, which ones are literal?
Like you have to look at the context of that's written around each book or each story. Like when you look at the context, it'll tell you like if this is a vision or an allegory or a symbolic or something else.
Which ones are allegorical and which ones are literal? Is Jesus' death and rising from the grave, is it allegorical or is it literal?
I would say that one was written in the context of straightforward speech.
Okay, so that one was literal.
Yes.
Okay, great. If you're saying that it's not logically impossible or it's not logically contradictory for him to rise from the dead. So now dead things can come back from the dead. How do we prove that?
Like
we can't prove that, bro. Yeah, happened 2,000 years ago.
We can't prove it. Like
we can or we cannot.
We cannot.
We cannot prove it. Okay, great. So if we cannot prove something, doesn't that mean that there's probably no evidence of it?
Like, but that's gonna fall into like which type of evidence is you accept. Like scientific evidence is not gonna be philosophical evidence.
Okay, what philosophical evidence is there that Jesus rose from the dead? Because the only thing that we're gonna get to is literally just special pleading.
No, the claims of people the claims of the Gospels are the anecdotal evidence, and they do fall under philosophical evidence.
You know, the 500 people that Paul claims actually witnessed Jesus and his miracles are actually just Paul's claims. And the first book of the New Testament wasn't until 80 years after Jesus' death. At the earliest prediction, some predictions put it to 200 years after death. So for someone to have been around to witness that 80 to 200 years after death, I mean, how can we prove any of that?
What do you like? No, Paul's writings were written in like I think the earliest was 50 CE, and Mark was like shortly after that.
Paul supposedly had 500 people that witnessed Jesus's miracles, right?
But I'm not like that's what I'm saying though. Like the gospel, that's not the Gospels though, right?
Okay, how is the Gospels evidence? Because the Gospels are just saying this is what happened. How do we know that's true? Because if we're gonna take the Gospels as evidence that Jesus rose from the dead, we're to take the Iliad as evidence that Zeus and Aphrodite, they medaled in the Battle of Troy. Are we gonna take that?
No, because they didn't write that as if it was true. They wrote that as a.
No, they wrote it as it was true. You ever read the Iliad?
Yeah, I read the Iliad. No, it's not. It's written as
Homer wrote it as it was true.
I think he wrote that as a myth, like as mythology.
It's mythology for us now, but
mythology.
Yeah.
But back then,
I have to check out the Iliad again. It's been 20 or 30 years since I read it, but
back in ancient Rome, they actually worshipped, Aphrodite, or in ancient Greece, they actually worshipped Aphrodite and Zeus and Hera. They actually believed in these things, these gods. In human history, we've worshipped over 2,000 gods. So why is it that only yours is the real one?
Well, yeah, that was my next question.
When did I say that though?
Well, that's what Christianity
No. We said we're not going to do that. Christianity is belief in one claim, and that one claim I just gave you, like the life, death, and resurrection. Period. Don't add anything and take anything away from it.
Okay.
Right, but
okay.
modern
So.
religion.
All right. So you're saying that that's Christianity's claims. So does that mean
That's
that
what
the
my
gods?
claim is.
Got you. Does that mean that the gods of other religions also exist?
They possibly could. I can't speak for anyone else except myself.
I like the way he thinks.
Yeah, same. Great. So the gods of other religions exist. So would you accept all right, so you're saying that as far as Christianity, this is true because that's what's written? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying the actual styling and the context in which the literary style in which that's written is like someone making a claim, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the people who are attached to that,
But you understand that just because they made that claim doesn't make it true.
yeah, I understand that.
All right, great. So the point that we need to get to is that how do we get to that this being true?
Like I would never say, like this is the way, like when I enter into these things, this is what I say. I can prove God exists. I can't prove my faith or my religion.
Okay. Go ahead and prove
Yeah,
God
faith
exists.
is internal.
I would say God is like an imminent transcendent force, like that God's the universe, right? So when I prove that, I would say the fact that we have the laws of physics and we have something that counters them, which is like dark energy, and the fact that.
Okay, so you're not a Christian anymore, you're a pantheist.
Not a pantheist, no. You could say what's it called? Pantheist. Like God is in the universe.
Like,
God is in the universe and beyond the universe. It's a different pantheist means God is the universe, the same as the universe, things like that. I don't believe that.
That would be the pantheon.
That's pantheist. That's two different words though. I'm saying pantheist.
So you're a pantheist. Okay, great. So God is the universe and beyond the universe, and somehow
the universe
also
is an expression of God.
The universe is an expression of God. Okay,
and God exists but transcends it as well.
God transcends the universe, and the universe is an expression of God, and He picked the earth to manifest Himself.
The whole universe is a manifestation,
but in
like
human
all of it
form.
is.
But Jesus is God in human form, or is not?
I believe Jesus is the most direct expression of it.
Why did He choose Earth and not some other planet?
Probably because we needed it.
Why do we need it? How come Trappist didn't need it? How come some other planet didn't need it?
What if they did what they're supposed to and didn't disobey and they good? They ain't got to worry about what we got to worry about.
My problem is that this seems very, very contrived. As expensive as the universe is, why exactly would God choose this speck of dust circling an average star to give the ultimate message, and the message is all jumbled stories? What would be the point of that?
Like, I mean, but you're saying it's like it's not specific to our situation.
Well, up until the 1600s, you got to figure we also believed that we were the center of the universe and that the sun revolved around us, not vice versa.
Right. What I'm trying to get to is, all right, so is your position that the claims of Christianity are true?
That the one that I mentioned, yes, my position is that I believe that it's true. I believe that it's true, but I can't prove it.
That Jesus rose from the dead.
Yes.
Okay, but Christians also claim that Jesus is the Son of God, and that God is, and the God of Christianity is the only one. Those are also their claims.
Like,
would those be your claims, or is your position only about Jesus rising from the dead?
My claim would be, pretty much, that Jesus raised from the dead, and that He is. I believe that He, like, The way I look at that, that's the way I explain the Trinity. Like the transcendent is the God, Jesus is the physical, and the Holy Spirit is how the life that all living things have within Earth.
Okay, great. What I'm trying to understand is exactly what exactly are you saying? Are you positing that is actually true? Because you just fully admitted that you cannot. We don't know if it's true that Jesus rose from the dead. You just believe that he does. My question would then be, why would you believe something without any evidence?
Like because I have evidence. I don't have scientific evidence. I have my anecdotal evidence. Like my life, the things I've been through, the things I've seen, things I've done. Like those are my evidences. Like that's what I say. It's anecdotal, so I can't prove it to you. But it's you can't say it's not evidence because you don't have it, right?
No, I can no I
You
I
can
can
say
say
it's not scientific evidence or empirical evidence, but it's evidence. Not all evidence is empirical, right? Or all evidence has to be empirical in your view.
not all evidence is going to be empirical. That is correct, but that puts it into the realm of bad evidence. And what did I say? There is no good evidence for a God.
I wouldn't say it's bad. Like your experiences aren't bad evidence.
It no, it's the reason why I would say it's bad evidence because again you said that those are your experiences, but we also have the Hindus who experience something else, the Jainist people who experience something else, the Sikhs who experience something else, the Muslims who experience something else. My grandmother, who was a Haitian Vodou practitioner, she experienced something completely different from all of you. So if we're going to take your experience as evidence, we should take all of them as evidence, which will make the Jesus claims a wash.
And I would actually, I wouldn't say it's a wash, but I would agree with that. Like, 'cause I would never say that I have the way to this thing, right? I have a perspective on reality, like as we all do, right? So, like I said, I can't speak for anyone else. Their perspectives is what their perspective is, but I know that like I wouldn't say like they say what we're 1 billion Christians or whatnot. I wouldn't say all 1 billion of those people that have similar experiences, but quite a few of them do. So if I fellowship with them and I take into account some of their experiences and I see how it aligns with mine, that makes that evidence not just arbitrary. Is what you're trying to say, right?
No, it still does because you all just believe the same thing. It's completely arbitrary.
But that's shared experience doesn't necessarily equal evidence.
Yeah, and my question would be: the KKK was also worshiping the same God in the Bible too. So when they were blowing up black churches, were they praying to the same God or a different one?
They were praying to a different God.
Why were they praying to a different God? They said they got all their things from the Bible.
I think you need to look into that a little bit more because that's not true. They deal with a lot of other stuff that's not that we wouldn't consider Christianity. They are
they were just racist,
like Catholics and things like that.
The Catholics are Christians too.
I disagree. But
what does Christian mean?
The belief in the life, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ.
That's what Catholics believe.
No, they believe that Mary was the mother of God.
Mary was the mother of Jesus.
But they're saying that she's like the queen of heaven and all kinds of other stuff.
Do you believe the Bible?
That's like, do I believe that Africa is a country? No, I believe that it has books in it. Like this. That's like a broad claim. That's like a broad paint stroke.
Okay. Do you believe in the Garden of Eden and the stories from Genesis?
I think he said that was
I believe there's, but I mean, like, something can be symbolically and allegorically true, like, but not necessarily literally true.
Well, the reason I ask that is because in the story of Genesis, God lied to Adam and Eve.
I disagree.
Well, he did. I can prove to you that he lied. He told them that if they ate the fruit of good and evil, of the tree of good and evil, that they would surely die, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what he didn't tell them is that if you eat the fruit of the tree of good and evil, I will exile you from the Garden of Eden, keeping you from the fruit of life, which is what would give you immortality to be like us. He actually uses the term to be like us, which is interesting for someone who is the only God, right? To say us.
Yeah. Let me give you a different take on the Adam and Eve story. When he says that when God did the thing, when the story, it says that everything was created good, right? Does it say anywhere that the tree of good and evil was a bad fruit or something?
Not that I know of. It doesn't say that it's bad per se.
It doesn't say it's bad,
Just
right?
that it's
So
forbidden. Just that it's forbidden.
it just was forbidden, right? So them eating the fruit wasn't poisonous. It wasn't poisonous. It was they were gonna obtain judgment, right?
They were going to obtain knowledge.
A knowledge, but they were going to be judged for it, right? So, because when we look at that, right, it doesn't say that the fruit was what was going to kill them. It was just the act of what they did.
Well, he said, but if you eat the fruit, if you eat of the tree, you will surely die.
Yeah, and in that instance, like,
even if it's not a direct lie, it's a manipulation.
No, because he could have meant that you're going to lose access to the tree of life.
Well, we can't assume what he could have meant. We can only assume what he said per the Bible, right? Because otherwise, we're just cherry picking when it suits us. Yeah.
Yes, but
I mean, if you believe the Bible for like word for word, then you have to believe that for Leviticus, when God says you can inherit people, you can pass these slave people, like I'm going to tell you to go out to another nation and capture these people and make them your property. And then you can pass these people down to your descendants and they will be their property. And I'm going to detail to you how you can beat them to punish them. Like, if you believe the Bible word for word, then when God details the logistics of buying and selling slaves, but then also forbids the eating of shellfish or the wearing clothes made from different cloths woven together, like, do you believe that slavery is objectively good?
No, because like you just added a lot of stuff on there, right? Because you said, wait, can I finish what I'm saying? You did add, because you said he told them to go out there. He said you can. He gave an allowance for it. He didn't tell them to do it, because if you look at Deuteronomy like 24 and something, it says don't mistreat foreigners, don't do this. It tells you a whole bunch of prohibitions, and these are universal laws. These aren't just Israelites. It's saying don't. It says specifically don't mistreat foreigners, right? So
conduct like
that makes it.
Don't mistreat them.
No,
that makes it a contradiction, though, Chris. That makes it a contradiction because it says don't mistreat foreigners, but slavery is mistreating foreigners. He's allowing them to own slaves. He's saying that the slaves are to come from nations around them, and from them they may buy slaves, right? So they can go ahead and buy slaves. Slavery is mistreatment, always automatically. So if they can go ahead and own and buy slaves, that means that they can mistreat them and they shouldn't mistreat them. So which one is it?
Like they shouldn't have never purchased them, but he was just giving them allowance. He put some restrictions on what they could and couldn't do.
Why would he give them allowance to oppress others?
No, he didn't give them allowance to oppress others. He gave them allowance to
slavery is oppression. Slavery is oppression.
How about Leviticus 25:46? You want to look that one up? You can bequeath them to your children as inherited property and can make them slaves for life. But you must not rule over your fellow Israelites ruthlessly. So in other words, if you're not an Israelite,
Nope. See, you're adding. That's
can be a
an
slave.
addition.
no,
No, that's not adding.
That's not adding. That's interpreting.
That's not interpretation. That's an inference.
Oh, okay. So do you believe that you can bequeath them to your children as inherited property? Stop there. And make them slaves for life?
No.
You don't believe Leviticus 25:46 is what you're telling me.
No, I believe he said. I believe it was said, and that.
Okay, so can you explain to us how slavery is not oppression and not mistreating people? If that one's is like too much up for interpretation, I have another one where he literally says you can make people force you like you can force people into forced labor. You want to read that one?
Yeah, let me see that one.
Yeah, Deuteronomy 20:10. When you draw near a town to fight against it, offer terms of peace. If it accepts your terms of peace and surrenders to you, then all the people in it shall serve you at forced labor. Meaning that if you go to war, that doesn't even say go to war. It said just go to a town to fight it, to take it over. Offer them terms of peace. And if they say, okay, let's have terms of peace, we don't want to fight you. Cool. Now you're all our slaves. Literally what it says here. So God allowed for slavery several times in the Bible. I don't see how this is.
No, I'm not saying like that's what I said. I didn't never say that he didn't allow it. I'm saying condone doesn't mean that it was.
Oh, he condoned it.
No. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying condone doesn't mean it's acceptable or it's good.
Yeah, it does.
Condone means that you're overlooking immoral action. It's literally means this word for word definition to overlook an immoral act. So when God punished them for doing these things, because he's like, I said all this stuff before that, you still did this. So
but God's not
I don't know
punishing
why
anybody.
he didn't just prohibit it. I don't know why. You can't say why he didn't just prohibit it. Maybe he didn't want to destroy everybody or in whatever, for whatever reason, he didn't want to actually destroy the earth.
But didn't he?
He did that before though.
But yeah.
And if he did flood it, where's the missing 5.2 billion cubic kilometers of water that there would have been to do that?
Like I said,
Hey, Chris, I just wanted to add one more thing. The definition of condone is to accept or allow behavior that is considered morally wrong or offensive to continue.
Exactly. That's what I was saying.
So he accepts and allows behavior that's morally wrong or offensive.
He commands it. He doesn't condone it. He commands
No,
it.
he does not command it. He allows it.
No, he commanded it. And in Deuteronomy 20:10, I'll read it again. When you draw near a town,
his commandments.
Yeah, I'll read it here from this is God talking to, I think, Aaron when the Israelites are in the desert taking over Canaan. He says, when you draw near a town to fight against it, offer terms of peace. If it accepts your terms of peace, forced labor. Forced labor. He's commanding it.
Well, I don't like. Yeah, I don't agree that that's a command though. Like,
so, what is it?
Bible.
It's not a command. It's an allowance. Like I said, it's an allowance. Or he condoned it, but he's not saying it's acceptable or good. He's not.
Okay, so
he's not telling him to do it. He's not telling him to do it. Like actively saying, "Go do this." Like the commands are only in the 10 Commandments. Like the rest of the laws are pertaining to that culture, that things like that.
Okay.
It's not literal.
Right, exactly. So we're back to it being allegorical and not literal. So Chris, when God told the Israelites, when you draw near a town to fight against it, offer terms of peace. If it accepts your terms of peace and surrenders to you, that all the people shall serve you at forced labor, that wasn't a command?
No, not that the people should serve them at forced labor. The command was to go to the town.
Yes, and offer terms of peace. And then it says, if they accept your terms of peace, the town shall serve you as forced labor. That's not a command, because God is still talking there.
Hey, I'll be right back.
For sure. We have about 5 more minutes, Chris, because we've been talking for about an hour. So yeah, you don't think this is a command? Because this seems like a command.
I wouldn't call it a command, because commands are.
So what exactly is it? Because he's literally telling them, if when you draw to fight against it, offer terms, they accept, enslave them. How is that not a command? It's all in the same sentence.
I'll have to look into it. I will have to look into it, but it's not like, because I look at commands are what we make laws out of, not what. This is how we make the laws, not the laws
It's not a
themselves.
commandment, but it's definitely a command to Aaron, right? Because he's telling him what to do with the town and the townspeople.
Yeah, this definitely seems like a command. But all right, Chris, we got about 3 minutes left. I think you're gonna be my last guest. You have any last thing for us?
No, that's pretty much it though, boss. Like I appreciate you having me up though, actually, because I gotta go too. But I'm definitely gonna look into some of the stuff you said. But like I would say, look at it from a different perspective. Like, don't look at it from the lens, because like I know a lot of people deconstruct it from stuff like, but hyperliteralism is not the way to read scripture. It's definitely not. You have to look at like context of what's going on, and it's not, the Bible isn't one book. It's at least 66 books, and some people say it's 84 or whatever. But I look at each thing separately in its own context. What was the author or authors trying to say to that people, right? So like Genesis has its own thing, Exodus has its own thing. Like each individual book has its own thing that has to be addressed and taken into how that author was speaking and what they were speaking to, what lessons were they trying to teach. Because I don't look at scripture literally like that. I look at it like what moral lessons I can take from it, and not I can take from it, and not like what's like, did God really tell them to do this? Or is God saying like, look at this, is he showing me a mirror like, you want to do this, but I'm telling you it's not okay. Some bad consequences are going to happen for that if you do that, like the Israelites did, or like whoever did whatever.
All right, cool. All right, Chris, appreciate you, man.
All right, bye-bye.
I think that's probably gonna be the last guest. We are empty in the box at the moment. Let's see how long I've been on. I've been on for about 3 hours, and unfortunately, on my Volcy Thoughts YouTube, the audio wasn't capturing all the way up until the last probably 10 to 15 minutes. But I'm going to be re-uploading this entire stream on my Volcy Thoughts YouTube channel. Cheesy, you got anything to promote? Cheesy, you there? I think we lost Cheesy, guys. All right, y'all. I'm gonna wait until I'll give it a few moments. I don't think we have any more people in the box. We are all out. Yeah, we're all out. We don't have any more people in the box. And like I said, I do appreciate everybody being here. You can go ahead and he did say he'll be right back, but I gotta get out of here. You guys can go ahead and subscribe to the Black Atheist Coalition on YouTube. There's also my channel, Volcy Thoughts. Highlights of this live will be up. The live is also up, but unfortunately, I'm gonna have to re-upload it. I've been on for about 3 hours. I've been on for about 3 hours, and my fiance cooked some pot roast yesterday, and I want to eat the leftovers of the pot roast. I'm tired and hungry, right? And I got some TV to catch up on. But I do appreciate you all being here. Like I said, I do these every Sunday, Mondays, and Tuesdays. So don't forget to follow me. I'll be doing this tomorrow again around 3 p.m. around this time. Again, subscribe to my YouTube, Volcy Thoughts. Subscribe to the Black Atheist Coalition, also on YouTube. The links are all in my bio. Again, I do appreciate you all being